G'day, citizens. Welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute. I've got to turn on my lights. And this is old man hosting himself. Algared, how you doing?
I'm feeling well.
Oh, I can hear myself.
And
I want to fix that. Right.
I'm doing fairly well.
Right. We had some technical issues at the start, but they're all sorted now. Can you click your mouse again?
I'm clicking.
I can hear it when you're talking and clicking. So don't click when you talk, or otherwise you're going to piss me off. No, so Algared, so there was a Discord thing about a week ago, and it reset all the settings. So I've had to be slowly going back through not just my sound settings and setting them all. I've got to do Algared as well because Algared doesn't know the technical details. But every time he was clicking,
I don't do it every second day, so I forget.
Yeah. But
old man syndrome.
Yeah. But it was like literally 2 years between drinks before we had to do it.
That's right.
Again, so I don't blame you. But the video during the week, I rewatched it. It's just all of these clicks, and I'm like, it was driving me nuts because
you can hear them. I couldn't.
It's very, very well. Everyone else heard them. I guarantee there'll be people back me up that heard the clicks. Driving me nuts.
Mind you, I got to admit, I didn't go back and watch the video. So
yeah, go back and watch the video. They're really distinct.
I know, but sometimes when I've watched the video and it's like, oh man, that's so cringy.
So
hey.
Yeah, it just shows you the quality of my setup. It picks. I hear things that other people don't hear. Like I was in a Discord chat yesterday, and this is an org, and someone was having a domestic, and we thought it was someone in the org. It turns out it was someone in game that I was nearby, and they so they're in Star Citizen near where I was in Levski because I was loading a ship at the time, and they're like having a full-on domestic with their wife, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Who's doing this? And everyone started laughing because I started streaming it because it was so funny.
And that is why you always turn your mic off when you're in game.
It was
so you're not broadcasting your voice.
No, it wasn't a domestic. They were just having some kind of argument in the kitchen, but I could hear it where I was. Yeah. Well, it was just real funny. You had to be there, but yeah. And then after that, I got griefed at the taking all that cargo after an hour and a half of loading it as I left Nick's to go to Stanton because there's only one way you can kind of get out of there. These people had finished the event, so they thought, oh yeah, let's make the event really unenjoyable for everyone else, and just because they don't get anything out of it. Because they can't take your cargo because it's all
take your cargo.
Contracted, but they can destroy a ship and just make your life miserable. That
to me, I think, does constitute griefing under CIG's base rules. Although it does cross that really grey area.
I'm going to tell people what I was going to do, right? Just for reference. So what I was going to do was I was going to do a giveaway for how many people could kill him over the next month, but then Algared pointed out that was griefing, so we can't do that anymore. But that was my plan because I thought, there's no way to get these guys back. No one ever gets these guys back. I might be in a position to get these guys back, so let's get back. Yeah, but then Algared went and did some research, and apparently turns out that's also against terms of service, so we're not going to do that. But I was very unhappy with this situation because they got nothing out of it other than pissing me off.
Other than just ruining someone else's gameplay.
Yeah, basically. And I was very aggravated at the start. I'm over it now, but it was just needless.
I really do feel if you're taking into the game and doing actions that are just designed just to piss people off. You're not pirating. You can't claim you're pirating if you're not taking any. You're just attacking people just to be a murder hobo.
If they've got something out of it, right? If they've got the cargo out of it or something like that, I'm all for that, right? I can totally justify all that, right? I can totally give that across as that's piracy. But I think that's the other part of it is the mechanics are not there yet. They're trying to pull off something when the mechanics are not there yet. Once scanning is in, and once that you can actually do some stuff about it, the game will change again. Everyone's going to require escortings. But also, I think it's particularly Nick's right now, where there's only really 3 points of interest, it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
Because the only way
I like
hang on. But the only way to avoid it is literally jump to the other gate and then jump from that gate to there. Because you've only got 3 points of interest. So anyway, go ahead. What's Pete say?
I like Piss Poor Pete's comment. He says, sitting halfway up a hill, kicking other players down as they try to reach the top is often reason enough for some. And unfortunately, that's true. There are some.
Yeah.
I without cussing and swearing and saying things that are not appropriate. That is basically what some people do, and it's getting your jollies off just by wrecking other people's gameplay. And for me, that constitutes griefing.
Now, I could also be in the opportunity where I could just drop this person's name and send a whole bunch of people after this guy. Just go say hello for me. But I don't think I'm going to do that either. I'm just going to be the bigger person here and not do anything. But I'm very tempted to kind of go to CIG, but that also looks like streamer privilege or whatever. But I think I actually have a totally valid case. But I don't know. I feel like I should just let it slide. But it's not in good taste, is what I'm trying to say. Like what Pete says, where they're essentially kicking other, like when they've finished the event, let's make everyone else have a worse time. It's just bad taste.
Yep, it does leave a bad taste. As a first time chatter says, 98 Infinity says, it can take a mission in the system and dogleg it, which is basically just what you said. That's the way you work around it. But even that's not 100%.
There's just not enough point of interest in Nix at the moment to readily avoid it easily. I think it's a cart and a horse problem. So I'd probably say for this patch, just kind of ban piracy as a whole, just in that system. I've got no problem with it in Pyro. I've got no problem with it in Stanton. But I think right there, when there's so few ways to warp into the main exit to Stanton, it's pretty much unavoidable. And I, like, everyone was talking about it before the event even happened, and then sure enough, I was the first one caught. Of the people I was playing with, and I was just like, for fuck's sake. And because it was really annoying. I had this no one else was there, so I had to load it all myself, and it literally took me an hour and a half to load it all, and then basically, readily enough, straight away, it just was all a waste of time. So I'm more annoyed at myself for having to have spent all that time loading it, not the actual what they did. So that's where I've kind of gone, right, it's my problem because I spent so long loading the cargo. It's not on them. They had no way to know how long I took to load the cargo. So that's how I've justified it in my own head. Anyway.
But still, I do think still, if you're just attacking people and just for the sake of it, because you finished the event, so you're going to stop other people doing the event, that really does feel a bit sucky.
Speaking of angering people, I personally attacked this week while watching ISC. I don't know about you. Did you feel the same? And this title this is a double entendre title, by the way. Did we anger them or did they anger us? I don't know. You can take your fucking pick. Fucking John Crew. You know, like, I feel like I need to do like a Skeleclaw. You know Skeletor and Claw from the Inspector Gadget? I feel like I need to turn into a character like that, Spelleclaw. I'll get you, John Crew. You know, like, I need to start a rivalry with John Crew. But it pointed out to me. It pointed out to me even more that they give zero fucks about their own lore. It is now like I tried to tell it to you for years, and you kind of didn't believe me. And then you've seen certain things that it's turning you around. But I think it is 100% a given now. He had to look it up on his phone. That just shows you how he hadn't even read what it was about. It's closed.
Yeah,
it's fucking closed.
I'm going to say, before I say anything else, start the bot.
Oh, shit, yeah, okay.
So we can actually get those questions rolling in, because some of them are starting to roll in.
My bad.
That's
sorry.
okay.
I was very excited. Sorry, I apologize.
You were very excited. But that's okay.
Stream questions. Right, here we go.
I don't feel it was just an attack.
No. It was.
I think it was an attack on every single streamer. Who said Hermes, messenger of the gods.
Yeah, and that would have been Paul, yourself. I know Grim talked about it. Tris, because me, Grim, and Tris talk all the time, so it would have gone between all three of us easily. And there would have been many other people doing the same. Joypub, thank you for the subscription on Prime for 15 months. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. So I do feel. I personally feel that the name Hermes for just a cargo ship is a missed opportunity.
Agreed.
Like, even if you look at it, it's, you know, a god of trade. Okay, that's a ship that's like a shop ship. It's got a messenger of the gods. It's not pulling cargo from left to right. And I just feel it's a missed opportunity. Now, if you're going to take a great name of a ship, a great possibility name for a ship, and say, no, we can't call the snub type craft for the reclaimer a cutter because it's too good a name. Don't F with good names that apply to something else.
Yeah.
Just,
I still think there is like me and you talked about this very briefly last night, and I said we'll talk about it tomorrow, so let's talk about it now. And we'll talk about it because we're obviously going to do the Hermes this week. We've got a lot to do this week, by the way. It's just so that you guys don't know, we've got to do the tier list show tomorrow, so look forward to that when it comes as well. But that is a very hectic organizational period, and I've got to get a lot done by tomorrow to pull that off. So I'm going to be, I'm already tired. You didn't only imagine how tired I'm going to be tomorrow. But we've cut it into 2 halves this year. So I'm going to do half now, which makes it easy to get people to turn up, the boys to turn up. But also I'm going to get them to turn up twice, which is also difficult because they're getting towards 3 hours now. So we're going to cut them in half, and then that'll hopefully drop it down to like an hour and a half or an hour, or an hour and 15. So it just makes it a little bit easier to get people together for a shorter amount of time, because trying to get around, all 4 corners of the globe together is rather difficult. And it did take us, 2 weeks to pull off that, just to find a time. And it gets rather difficult. So everyone's going to be there except Bops, but Paul wants to stream it and Bops wants to stream it. So we also might be streaming it live tomorrow. So look forward to that on Bops or wherever.
Bops was saying he's starting a 24-hour stream. And
we didn't want to we don't like to do that because then we can't have the socialization we do before. Because we also catch up. It's the only time all year we can catch up and we can say all the dirty secrets in the background and just vent or do all the shit that we do. But you can't do that when you're live. So I'm really disappointed that Paul wants to do it live. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, Paul. Like, you just, now we can't do our normal catch up. Which,
it is a frustration, but I got to admit, there is a value in it being live because, in a sense, the way we do it is live anyway. And it's a lot of the banter.
Well, I guess we could go. I guess we could go the other way and just do it live tomorrow as well, and be done. That might be the other way to do it. I didn't even think of that until just then. So maybe we just do it as a live stream tomorrow. We'll see. Look forward to that if it pops up.
I think what guys on YouTube and guys on Twitch should do is hit that Y button if you think that we should do it live.
The Y button. Well. The Y button.
Yes. Yeah. Y. Hit Y. But yes.
Oh right. He puts yes in chat.
Press Y. Press the Y key on your keyboard.
There's no YouTube button on your keyboard, old man. What are you talking about? Like, I was like, he's fucking crazy. He's lost the plot.
He always
and nobody's pressed Y. So clearly they had no clue what you were talking about, as I did. Right.
Okay. Raving Nuts, who's probably echoing us anyway, says, messenger of the gods, yet only carrying cargo and no messages, data. Missed opportunity. And I've got to agree. I think that's the...
So that we were talking about that. So I think that's a part of the episode that we'll talk about, that we'll probably do on Sunday. We might have to do 2 episodes, Algared. We might have to do a live one and a recorded one.
Socially Confused says, the Hermes are the easy walkthrough. You open the door, take a peek in, close the door, you're done.
Yeah. Because I see problems that are easily solved with that ship. I've only got one major issue, and I'll talk about that when we do the review. But as for the ship itself, I think they're doing, there is a possibility of a future module that they sell when data running comes out. Now, I wouldn't say that is a given.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a precedent for it, and there isn't, and it's really weird. The Galaxy, when they sold that ship, they sold modules with it, but they talked about the future possibility of a manufacturing module. Now, does that mean when you sell the Hermes, they should have talked about the future possibility of a data running module? Or do you think they've just gone, nah, we'll never talk about it, and then just like shadow release it if we want to? Or are they never going to do it? And that's where the question comes in. Do they or don't they?
The other thing that comes into that is also when you look at cryopods.
I don't. Sorry, Ocean 911 is saying X still holding out hope. No, I don't know. We are both kind of questioning it because it just doesn't make sense. Why use such a cool name that is clear? He literally says it himself. He sits there and reads it and he goes, oh, he was the god of heralds and the heralds. Sorry, he was the herald of the gods and he was the heralds of human heralds. It just doesn't add up. Like, and he's it just like their own law that they're reading tells them that it's a data runner. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But anyway, go ahead, Algared.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah. So you did. I've lost my train of thought, but I'll get it back in a sec.
I'll give you the time.
So when we're looking at the Apollo, I've got to say that when we're looking at the Apollo, one of the things you said early on was strip these rooms out, pull everything back, widen up, get rid of these side rooms, widen them up, turn it into a straight cargo ship.
I did.
You said at the time that is the variant they're going to do, and then the question was, are they going to make it a data runner or not? Now, clearly they've not made it a data runner, but that's what I was going to say. The other thing that they could do is, you remember the cryopods, the bounty hunting pods.
Yep.
They do appear to be almost cargo pods, and so you could have data computers being like taking up cargo slots as well and being put into a ship. So that could be something that comes along. So
sorry, I just read two things in chat. So I read Grim said, X, if you say there is no module coming, then there'll definitely be a module coming. Which is funny. And then Needless says their other Inforunner is literally named the Herald. Well, it goes a step further than that. Mercury, so one is Roman, one is Greek, and I always mix them up, right? But the Roman god Hermes is the same god in Greek or vice versa.
Mercury is the Roman god, but Mercury Star Runner is a data runner.
Yeah.
And Mercury is
so they're the same,
literally the opposite.
Yeah, they're the same name, but from different cultures. So it's just like, you know, and then the Herald thing as well. So it's just, it just doesn't add up. And being a modular ship and there's no data running, I think they've just decided to sell it as a singular ship. But we know how modular that ship is. Like, it's even more obvious now that that you've got the Hermes and the Apollo. And to all of us, right, now they've sold them as separate ships, but it's clearly a variant, right? So we're in muddied, warty territory like crazy now, because like they're selling it as a completely separate vehicle, but like it's so obvious it's a variant. I don't you know, they call it like, in my book they should share skins. They should. But they don't. And you try and sit there and tell me what's the difference between the Valkyrie and the Asgard and the Apollo and the Hermes, and they're indistinguishable. There is the lines are so blurred now, they are basically the same thing. It's just down to what they choose to sell it as. That's it. That's the only difference.
The interiors might be different, but the exteriors are exactly the same. And mate, if you've got your interiors,
no, that's not accurate at all. They are both different on both variants. That's what I'm trying to say. They are literally designed the same. So the Asgard has exterior changes to the Valkyrie, the Apollo has exterior changes to the Valkyrie, and they both have interior differences as well. So it makes them exactly the same. It's just what they decide. It's literally like, it's like a school teacher, Algared, that marks their grades of their papers by throwing them up in the air, and whichever hits the ground first gets an A. It's completely random. It makes no sense. So there is no metrics to it. There are no rules to it. It's just whatever they decide. And it makes it now almost impossible to track.
I'm going to grab Dimon94's question now.
Yeah.
Based on your experience using the Hermes.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the marketing the Hermes as a blockade runner? Well,
after flying it, I tell you right now, it ain't doing that turn it did in the video. You know, in the cinematic, how it turns between the rocks. No way it's doing that. This thing flies like a. Algared, you'll fly it straight away, and it's, you know, when we did the medium ship, when we went through all the ships and flew all the medium ships. It's a Freelancer Max. It's a bigger Freelancer Max. Flies sloppy as shit up and down, side to side and side, but you go in a straight line, fast as fuck. Right? It's exactly like the Freelancer Max, almost in every single way. So if the Freelancer Max a blockade runner, and I'd argue it's not, you know, I can see where they're going. Like, it's got up guns and all that. And I'll tell you one thing, when those guys were griefing me, I was able to fly for quite a while in a straight line before they took me down. I was quite tanky. and that was with the shields off, by the way. So it is quite a tanky craft, but it's not immune, you know.
As Grim says, the Hermes feels as sluggish as hell to me.
Yeah,
and yeah,
which Grim, I'd ask you the same thing. Get in game and try out a Freelancer Max, and you'll find out very quickly it's the same. Yeah. The Freelancer Max has because it's got extra cargo on it, right? You don't have any extra thrusters on the Freelancer Max, but you're essentially getting a lot more cargo, so that's why it feels sluggish. But then they put extra engines on the back, just like the Apollo does on the little wing sections of the the Hermes. I think I did it myself. The little wing section, so it goes forward faster, and the flight style is just identical. You just cannot. It's inescapable that they are the similar kind of flight profile. Anyway.
Yeah. Like as Parker says, any cargo ship could be. I actually think it should be. Any cargo ship should be sluggish. It should feel. Any cargo ship should feel sluggish especially when fully laden. Compared to one that's not fully laden. And yes, it did make me think of Monty Python and the Sparrow sketch. Is that a fully laden sparrow? So yeah.
All right, I've now become sufficiently annoyed. I want to get in game and tell you what my issues are with it, if that's okay with you.
No.
Do you mind?
I'm quite happy to be in game and have a look at the Hermes and see the sluggishness of the Hermes, which, to me, for a messenger of the gods, does not feel like a messenger of the gods.
So you know how they did the triage and they had the little medical logo and all that on the triage and the medvac with a cross thing? I think they missed a real opportunity to have like the little winged boot or just a little wing on it.
Yep.
You know, that's a massive oversight in my personal opinion. That's what I would have done. And I would have somehow incorporated the little wing into the name Hermes. Like maybe in the R for Hermes, the wing comes out of the hole. You know, that's how I would have done it. But I've only used Photoshop for 29 years. What the hell do I know what I'm talking about? All right, I'm loading the game.
Yep.
See if this works. It could go horribly. Is it going to go horribly? No, it worked perfectly fine. Hey, wait, that's my bar. Hang on, my screen's not on off.
Dear me.
Wrecking my immersion. Right, there we go.
No.
I don't even
bad I even noticed it.
Yeah, I don't even know where I'm in game. But we'll find out. Needs an acceleration buff. Well, I think that's a part of it, Dillman. It does go pretty fast, but takes it took him a while to catch me, by the way, because I just went pedal to the metal and I just boosted like crazy and went. My problem is I shouldn't have tried to evade the shots. I should have just taken the shots and stayed speed. That was my problem. Should have just stayed at maximum speed, and then I would have been going 100 faster than the Mantis, and I would have slowly outpaced them. But I tried to dodge the shots of the Mantis, and that was my problem. I should have just taken the hits and kept going.
Socially Confused says, and I made me chuckle. It is messenger of the CIG gods, and the message was bland.
No, they're not the gods. We're the gods. We're the angry gods. No, I don't. You can take it either way you want. I don't know.
So
we'll just start a rivalry. Well, as I was saying, I need to make a persona like Skeleclaw. You know, half Skeletor, half the claw from Gadget. That's your job, girl. I don't know.
So that John Clew is both
He-Man, Gadget.
Is it He-Man?
He's Gadget Man.
He-Man, Gadget.
He's Gadget Man.
Gadget Man.
All right, someone do a picture of that. John Clew. Half He-Man. So it's like, what do you call it? I
am the power.
No, he goes by the power, and then he's just like standing there on
a
he's on electric legs and a helicopter come out of his head or something like that. Yeah, that'd be funny as fuck. Anyway, maybe I should do that for the thumbnail next week. We'll see. We'll see if I can pull that off. Right? Did I even park it here or did I park it elsewhere? I do not know. I'm getting that bug again.
Just the right says you can't outrun the Mantis. It's 200 meters a second faster than the Hermes.
Well, then I never would have escaped then. Which is also a thing. I think that ship should be slower so you can outrun it. Personally, that makes it an issue. If there's a ship that you can't outrun, I think the other problem is I should have had someone else on the ship with me. I was on my own. If I had one person on the ship, I could have put him on the turret. I realized all my mistakes after I'd done it, and I was just like, ugh.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, and that highlights one of the things was that you can take a multi-cruise ship.
By the way, they weren't just one person. It was like a group of 6 of them doing it. Oh, it was pretty disgusting. They were clearly in a group griefing people. It was, if it had just been one person, I wouldn't have even brought this conversation up. But it was a group of a whole bunch of them. They were targeting people and griefing them because they'd finished the event, so they just made it miserable for everyone else, which is, in my book, unacceptable. Especially with all the other things that we mentioned, like where they were doing it. They were exploiting, you know, the essentially beta nature of the game.
They're exploiting a game mechanic to F with other people, you know, to screw up other people's gameplay.
Right.
And that to me seems rude and wrong.
All right, not going to do a full review here. I'm just going to show you the one thing. So if someone at CIG is watching, if they're still awake, I think it's almost like, hey Google, what's the time in the UK?
The time in the United
9:35 p.m. They'll still be awake. Right. So if there's someone at CIG watching, this is the fix that I want, and I think it's fixable, and I think it's just a small minor thing, right? This tractor beam, right? This is my major issue, right? I love how it comes inside on the track, but the issue with the tech that we currently have, this is totally fixable, by the way, because we've seen. Oh god damn it.
Yep.
Is it doesn't come out far enough, right? So when the rail when you put this down at the back, I think it should extend the track out further.
Yep, I could see that. So if you can actually see around the corner to make it easier to load. I can see that.
Yeah, that's my only issue with it at all. It literally just needs an extension that will bring it out to, like, say here, past the hull of the ship. Because right now, as this stands, like, just to give an example, I cannot, like, that's better than the tractor beam gets, by the way. It's literally like this when you're in the tractor beam. You cannot load the ship without moving the ship. And that is a complete oversight. If you've designed your cargo base to be off to the side like that, the first thing I would have done with this tractor beam would be put it in a hangar and go, can I reach the hangar with this tractor beam? No, you can't, so therefore it's a design flaw. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I'm happy to leave it at that, unless you want to add anything to it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I was just looking.
You right? Hello? Hagrid, you've muted yourself. Hagrid, you're muted. Hagrid, do you know you're muted? Oh shit! Wait, I hit the mute button. Sorry, Hagrid. My apologies. When I went to hit the thing, I went to hit F12. I've clearly hit F11. I muted everything you said and what I said there. So I was sitting here going, Hagrid, you're muted. Hagrid, you're muted. I'm like, why can't you hear me? Oh wait, I'm muted too. Right. So sorry. Say it again, please, Hagrid.
Yeah. The only thing as I was looking at that, where the tractor beam station is.
Yeah.
To me, it really does feel like it's in the way of the cargo access point. I'd have put it on the side here.
Yeah.
Because you've got the camera, and you're not going to get in the way of loading cargo.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think it would be better here personally. I agree with you. In fact, I would probably, for just because you can do it, I would have actually added two of them. Then you could just pick where you go. But you can also load it from the front of the ship in the co-piloty thing. I believe there's a way out there to do it. You know, I probably would have also liked it if they didn't needlessly narrow it with the Zeus-like hydraulics. But when you kind of run it through, there's not really any other way to do it. You know, unless you just remove the hydraulics, and then it just doesn't make any real world kind of sense. So you rather have the glass than not have the glass, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
The glass is a nice look. You get to see the mechanics working, and it's one of the things that they've always liked is you know, being able to see the bits and pieces.
Yeah. I don't really want to go into a full review. That's kind of where I wanted to leave it. But yeah, we will do a full one. But you know, I just want to ask your guys' thoughts on that track, because to me, we do have track extensions on other things. So it's a tech that I know that they can essentially implement. And at the very least, the other thing you could have had is some kind of arm that just
extends it out just a little
bit. Or whatever. But whatever you kind of do, I can't see why they couldn't have done that. Unless it's something to do with the edge here, because I know that that's kind of standardized now. But again, it all comes back to a design flaw. You have literally now deliberately designed a design flaw into this ship. Yes, it's great at loading cargo while you're on the inside. Probably the best I've ever seen. But that also means it's the most annoying, because the other thing is the height of this ship is just enough height, look, that I cannot grab cargo from inside, right? So as a two-person ship, unless this is deliberately designed this way, which they could claim it has been designed this way, You need 2 people for this ship. It is no longer solo. It is fucking annoying because you've got to double tractor beam everything to get into the ship.
Yeah, and that I think is just it's a time sink. It causes, if you're doing it solo, it's a time sink. Now, if 8 this is the ship you can solo, then I think that is false. In a weird way.
So to give you the idea, I had to do the individual cryopods, right? And cryopods are probably 1 SCU, but they're wider, so they're really annoying to stack. I had to do 82 of these cryopods because I grabbed 3 missions at once, and essentially I had to back the ship up to the cargo lift, and there was a bug where the tractor beam wouldn't even fit far enough into the thing, so I had to move about half the cryopods forward in the lift to be able to grab them again with the tractor beam on the top, and then every single tripod I had to pull it back down the track, turn around, place it, come back, move forward down the track, grab it, and doing that 72 times plus moving half of them to the front of the elevator, that's why it took an hour and a half.
Yeah, but even if you look at the design of a ship, if you know, and you said it yourself, if you know your cargo access points are at the side, and you're building ships for those cargo bays, and you've got a method for loading those ships, then why make it so you can't actually, see the cargo bay from when you're using that tractor beam? Why make it? You literally need to manually move it. But,
essentially, Algared, this starts to fall into Star Lancer territory for me, where we were not able to critique the design of the ship during its concept stage, and therefore little things have slipped through the cracks.
Yep. Look,
they are not gods. They are the Gould. They are only human. And therefore they are flawed like the rest of us, is all I'm trying to say.
False gods, yes.
Yeah, they are false gods.
False gods. I'm happy to agree with that. I'm happy to say yes. They are false gods. But just like we would be false gods. Yeah. Just to clarify.
Likewise. But yeah, it's clearly a massive design flaw, and I can't get over it. Like you and I have done this for so long now. The designs pop out very quickly when we use things, right? I can't believe there's not someone on their QA team that didn't see this as an issue. It either tells me the ship was not tested enough, or the design team just think they'd nailed it. But someone at CIG has to be able to walk up to anybody else and critique their work and say, I think I found a flaw, and not go, you're fired, right? You need to be able to, and I don't know what it's like there, but I've been at places where if you say anything to the wrong person, you are fired, right? And I'd like to think CIG is able to take critiques and criticisms and fix them. And I just want to, I think the answer to this is it a deliberate design flaw? And if that's the case, then you cannot call this a solo ship, because therefore it requires 2 people. So you either need to readjust your marketing, or you basically need to fix this. And I would argue that it's a 2-person ship, right? So if that's the case, then you can't sell it as a solo.
So do they market it as a solo ship?
They said solo, or I can't remember what it was, but it said solo. I think it's 1 to 2 people is what they marketed it as, right? But you can't market, well, it's a grey area. But you cannot load this properly as you can, but it takes like 5 times as long, because doing this with 1 person and an Atlas and yourself is so quick. Like it is really quick to load, right? Because the person with the tractor beam can just sit at the back, and the person with the Atlas just literally hooves them into the bay, and all you're doing is picking them up and placing them, right? It's really quick. Yeah. But when you're gonna go backwards and forwards on a track with a box all the time, no, it's too long, and to the point that if the game had the mechanics, you would literally hire an NPC to help you load it. Or you'd pay for auto loading, right? Because it just takes too long. It just does. And it's totally fixable. You've seen how I've suggested a fix very quickly, and that tech is in the game. We've seen it elsewhere. So it's just, there's a fix there. It's an oversight.
Look, I don't. I'm looking at the outside, and I maybe it's just that I don't know the Apollo well enough, but to me it doesn't look that much different from the Apollo.
The only difference is twofold. It is these engines, right? Because the Apollo doesn't have those, and I'll just, because it's quicker, I'll just share from the inside. And essentially, I guess I
know the inside has been kind of gutted.
Yeah, but I'm talking just externally. So what it really is because of this track.
Yeah.
The sunroof
skylight's gone.
The skylight's gone, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just show you that from the outside. And what they did was they essentially just structurally reinforced it. They basically just filled it in. You know, they called it structural reinforcement or whatever, but it's just, hang on. There we go. Right. So you can just see there, it's literally just been filled in with a structural tire set, and that's it. Oh god, I can't even zoom in.
Yep. So whoever was on stream last week looking at the sneak peek and said, that looks like there's no window, they were right.
Yep. They were right.
I couldn't see the difference, but yeah, kudos to them.
Yep, kudos to them.
But I don't see it. Look, I really don't see a difference of this. I actually would say, apart from a cargo capacity, the Taurus is still the better ship because it's got that. It does have that shielded cargo area, so you can actually smuggle things that you don't want to be able to scan. I don't think this is a smuggling ship because you can't. Well,
the Taurus is definitely easy to load. I'll give you that. But also, this is. I think the Taurus has got like 190 something. This has got 280. This ship has every right to exist, by the way. There is no ship that is essentially above 200 SCU, and then the next set of ship is at the Caterpillar at 576. So there's literally this massive gap of almost like 300 SCU, and this thing lands smack bang in the middle at 288. They weren't wrong. Its existence is totally vilified. I've got no problem with that. It's just got design flaws.
Verified.
Yeah, it's
not vilified.
Verified. Sorry, wrong word usage. But yeah. And by the same token, I'm kind of annoyed with how skins for the Valkyrie work for the Asgard, but these skins don't work for the Apollo. It's kind of gross because this would have been a really nice skin to have on the Apollo.
It would be, but I can also see a reason why. Because one of the things,
Algared, there is no verification for why. And I'll tell you why. As I explained before, there is no difference between how the Asgard and the Valkyrie works, and they both share skins, and this and the Apollo, and they don't share skins. That's my entire point. It is all made up. They've just decided not to do it.
And I'm going to give a reasoning, a rationale why not. It means your medical skins stay with the medical ship. And so you can't actually pretend to be a medical ship and then...
I can do a poll right now, and I guarantee what the poll is going to be. What do you reckon affects the look of a ship more, its skin or its silhouette? And it'll be the silhouette, right? And so the whole argument is null and void that you just made. I see where you're going. You're trying to fucking give... I know what you're trying to do. You're wrong in this instance. They have fucked up majorly because you can't have it one way and have it the other. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You get to pick and stay in a fucking lane. And they have chosen every fucking lane on the highway, and they can't do that. It's not consistent.
I wouldn't say wrong. I would say it's just not a road that CIG have taken.
Does anyone in the chat get what I'm trying to say? How the Asgard and the Valkyrie are one way, and then
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It makes it so the points are made up and they just don't matter. Like it's kind of like what's happened with the law. It's just made up and it doesn't matter anymore. And it's become more and more evident.
Who says reason is money?
Reason is money. Well, yeah, but again, why was it like that with the Asgard? Oh, money? Because people would like that, so we'll let them use the skins. Like
Red Snare says if the Ox and the Golem share skins,
there's
no excuse here. The only like I said, the only excuse I could give, and it's not one that CIG have even said, it's that you keep your medical skins for medical ships. But then how many people don't care about whether it's a medical ship or not?
Actually, now I think about it, there is a difference. I've just figured out what it is. And I've just figured out what it is. It's the text on the outside of the ship. Because the Hermes says Hermes on it, and the Apollo and the Triage say Medivac or Triage. And if you put the skin on it, it would also put the word on it. They're too lazy to go in and separate those. You sods of bitches. You should go in and separate them. They've saved them as one file. They need to save them as separate skins for each ship. and that's why it hasn't been done. Aha! I figured it out. No, because there's no text on the Asgard or the Valkyrie. Or the Golem, for that matter.
Now
that's what it is.
See,
it's the text.
Yep. And I'm going to come back at just the right. Said literally none of the paints for the Apollo look medical. True, but if they only apply to the medical ship, they are medical ships.
And if you go look at the others, they either say Medivac or Triage.
Yep.
That's in exactly the same spot where it says Hermes. That's what it is. It's the name. It's the word. Because they don't want you pulling out Hermes and it's saying Triage on it. They don't want you to be able to hide as a medical ship. Well, I'm sorry, CRG. You need to go back through and make separate skins that have the words taken off. And if you haven't set the system up for that, then maybe you should get around to building a skin tool system. That time, you'd make a lot of money off it.
Petty. Well, it would make a lot of money off it because you'd be able to sell more skins.
I would say at this point it's diminishing returns. If it's taking them so long to build these skins, yet they're making so much money out of it, then why can't you invest a little bit of time in it? It works for you, it'll work for because then they can't have the argument of, oh, we can't make skins anymore because they're too easy to make now, so we can't sell them anymore. And that's why they're now caught in a catch-22.
Yep. Now, Modad just does do a mic drop.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Algared, but there's medical Pisces and a standard one, and their skins are interchangeable.
Ooh,
so,
yeah, but they don't have the word. They don't have words on them, you see? And that, well, actually, there's a cross on the Swiss one. There is a cross on the Swiss one, but it appears only on the back door, I think. But my point still stands.
Yeah, look,
it's the word.
I'm not disputing that point. It's a, you know, I've always said I'd like the medical skins to stay separate rather than be interchangeable.
Someone's telling
just because.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out what he means here. He says, so Nils has added us and said, go look at the floor textiles for a good laugh. I assume he's talking about in this ship, and there's some textiles somewhere. Don't know what he's talking about. I assume he's talking about in the cargo grid, maybe? Can you give me a bit of context?
The one that says Apollo.
Needless. Can you give me a bit of context to what you're talking about? Floor textiles. Floor engineering? Does it say Apollo somewhere? That would just seal the deal, wouldn't it? We can bitch slap them back to Manchester. Where I'm looking for Apollo somewhere, but I can't find it. Cargo? No. All right, we're waiting for you to message us to tell us where to go. Needless. Engineering hallway. Everyone's beating all these walls. Names out at me. Engineering hallway. No, stop. Triage. Call you to pass out. Got your CIG.
There you go. It's the variant.
You've got no fucking escape now, bitch. It's a variant. By the balls.
It's not a dedicated ship. It's a variant, just like the others.
Point fucking proven. You've got no escape. We've caught you from every angle now.
Ah, dear me.
Yeah. So, yeah, this ship just breaks all the rules, and they don't. This just now proves they have no rules. Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Not even a decent rebrand. It's like buying a Honda and taking off a plaque and finding Ford written underneath. You know.
Actually, Mazda used to do that. My dad had a Mazda van. My dad's mate had a Mazda van, and my dad had a Ford, and my dad was trying to tell his mate it was exactly the same van, and he goes, can I prove it? And he goes, yeah, sure, do whatever you want. And so my dad gets his screwdriver, takes off this plastic thing that goes across the front of his mate's van, and he took it off, and it literally it's a Ford, and you put it next to it, they were the same exact van. And he was like, what? It's just a Ford with a literal plastic thing across the front of the bull bar.
Yeah,
it was funny as
had a small Mazda car, and there was near the dashboard there was a little plaque with Mazda, and you took that off and it Ford or whatever it was underneath it.
Yeah.
Exactly the same model, just rebrand it. Yeah, that's what this is. They've just the little tab that's gone off. It said cargo's fallen off, and it says triage. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just rebranded.
All right, I'm getting a couple of messages that there's a sneak peek. Grim, if you want to say something, bro, just jump in. Yeah, Grim sent me a message. Grim, you're always welcome to stop by, man. You don't have to ask. Just come in anytime you like.
Just pop in. That's
It's not
right.
like your show
You're
where me
always
and
welcome.
Algared have to be dragged into the Discord. Well, you just rock up. You are welcome. It is an open door policy. You just come
That's
in
right.
and verbally abuse us and then leave. You're more than welcome. That goes for all the content creators. You're more than welcome to join in, unless you're drunk, because that happened once when we got really annoyed.
Yeah.
So you can turn up anytime you want, just not when you're drunk.
No, I'm going to say unless you're Pete, because you always ignore us and never come in. And
Oh, that's
I'm
a
now
bait.
convinced you hate us.
Don't fall for the bait. Don't fall for the bait. That's a bait, Pete. He's baiting you. Are you going to fall for it? Yeah, he'll fall for it.
Pete has proved from his comments this morning,
Yeah.
he hates me.
Yeah.
You know, he can claim otherwise, but he hates me. It's clear. He never comes in, never joins us. I'm sorry, Pete. You've proved it.
All right, Grim's here.
Howdy. Can I tell you? So here's on my shows the issue.
Yeah.
I need to either have my headphones on and set up for when people jump on the show, or if I'm just going solo, I don't have them on because I use a different mic for the show than I do Discord. See, I got to solve that problem. Then it's going to be easier for people to jump in whenever they want.
Well, you could just do like we do, and we use the same for everything.
Yeah, I need to get it properly set up.
Yes. So,
I did DM you the image if you need it quickly. But
is this the sneak peek? Oh, you did. That was the sneak peek. Oh, perfect.
I've got to say, Pete, I do not think you are as cool as the guy from the Guinness ad. Pete says,
what?
Pete just said, I like to watch.
All right.
And the old Guinness ad, you know.
I just heard that as he's a pervert. Okay, so if this is so if this is the sneak peek, then this is coming a lot sooner than I thought. Because if we're already getting sneak peeks, that means this ship is next month, or the next next ship. Yeah,
they did mention that it's in the 4.6.x cycle. So
they've found a way then to hide ships so leaks can't get them. That's what I'm hearing. They've done something like they've encrypted it or something like that, so it can't be unencrypted until they say it can be. That's what it tells me, and they've built that into their thing, so leaks can't grab them in a timely manner. All right. Well, while you're here, Grim, so that shows me that there are noticeable changes to the ship. Just looking at that, like I know that thruster is the VTOL one. And where that arm is there that's going out there, that's not in a usual place. That means parts of the hull have changed as well.
Yeah, I'm partially wondering if it's if the side seat things with the salvaging arms. I'm starting to wonder if they're remote and the seats to control those are more internal.
You mean that they're not open cabs?
Yeah,
I think
that's what I'm starting to think.
So, Algared, I'm at the point now where this is starting to move into Paladin territory, like you were hoping, is what I'm trying to say. To put it in a term that you would understand.
I hope that is the case.
Yeah.
I hope it starts with a mole, but that gets grown.
Well, it's already heavily modified. I would say it's like it's probably, you know how the Asgard is slightly modified Valkyrie, but it was widened and all that type of thing. It's in that territory, but it's enough to say it's a whole new hull as well. I'd almost argue I'd be surprised if the skins work on each other. It's that type of change, because that is a massive structural difference by putting that arm on. That's quite large. What the hell's going on over there? Daft Digit. All right. Thank you for some hype train or something. Well, they're doing something on Twitch. I don't know what they're doing. I can't make out.
Well, Northern Tech Hermit, thank you for the 1 month sub. And then
was that what it was?
Pete, they've given a 7th gift sub to the channel. So thank you, Pete.
Okay, you're lagging a little bit, Algared. You're going a bit robot on me for a second there. Just giving you a heads up. Is there anything else you can see there, Grim? There's not a lot. It's usually just enough to hang ourselves, yeah?
No, just, I mean, it's definitely Argo.
What gives that away?
Definitely orange.
What gives that away? I can't see what. Yeah, I can't see what gives that away.
Yeah, definitely orange. Well, no, just in that, this is obviously the orange salvager they were referring to. I don't think there's any mystery there. I think the big thing will be how much this is different from the mole.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, because like the mole up until now was the largest medium, and they're calling this a large salvager, so it has to grow by a couple of meters to actually earn that large tag. Are you with us? Do you kind of see that that's a bit weird? Because if it comes out and it actually fits on a medium pad, how is it a large salvager? See, they're breaking their own rules again. They set all these things in place, and
possibly breaking their own rules.
Well, they don't. What I'm saying is, I don't think they have any rules. They're just flying completely by the seat of their pants, and they just say things, and they're not following their own metrics. It's just weird.
I will say it's not what I was it's not what I was hoping for the quote unquote large salvager. I was hoping something more
bespoke.
Like a Rastra.
Or originally
thing.
an original ship. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
I was disappointed
just because I like a lot of Argo ships. The Mole is not one of my favorite Argo ships, to be fair. However, I would expect the whatever this is and the Mole are probably going to receive some updates as well. I know the Mole just received a huge buff to its front shields, for example. It may get some additional changes. There's some internal things I don't like about the Mole that I'm curious if they're going to change with this.
All right,
ultimately, I'm expecting this to be a Mole clone with salvage heads.
Essentially,
that's where my thinking's at.
Real quick, PC 101 got a sub from Daft Digit. Congrats! I know you'll hate that. Good job, Daft Digit, on doing that. Pissball Pete says something really interesting. There are some new salvage missions coming in 2 weeks. It'll come with that 100%, and I agree with him. I didn't know about that, but that is really good to point out, Pete. Thank you. So that makes sense to me, and that would probably be in line. Hopefully, I'm hoping that they kick up because we know that a whole bunch of Evo went out. They did 2,000. I think it was 2,200 or something like that Evo invites. So that literally puts us back up to like 2,500 people in Evo, which is significant. Which tells me they're going to be doing a shitload of testing this year if they're upping those Evo numbers drastically into the thousands.
Makes me think feature stuff.
Yes.
It also hopefully I was going to say hopefully it means we're also increasing the size of servers as well, but that's just
Don't do that when it's finally running stable, Agrid. Do not give these gods bad ideas. They have enough bad ideas already that we have to sit here and criticize.
No, sorry. I've got to correct you. Don't give these Goa'uld.
Oh, the Goa'uld. Yeah, sorry, the Goa'uld. The Goa'uld.
It also makes me wonder, just thinking about core tech on that subject for a minute. One of the things CR said in the letter of the chairman is that dynamic server meshing is coming this year. It makes me wonder if maybe the bulk up on Evo is to do, some dynamic server meshing tech testing. That'll be interesting. But yeah, that's a big chunk of new Evo people to come in.
Yeah,
I think I just thought of next week's thumbnail. I'll tell you after the show. I'm going to do a good reference. A big one. Right. Go ahead, Agrid. What you were going to say?
I'm just going to say I'll write a note for that. So
please. Please.
In 3 hours' time, we'll
I will. But it just came to me. I was that'll look good. I'll talk to you too, Grim, because I'll have to get a photo of you. It's not of you, but a photo. I'll help you find me a photo. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, Grim. I found this. I wanted an original ship. I would have liked to have an original Argo, but let's be honest. The last 2 years, now we're going into a third year. They have literally just gone to variant, like the
variant town.
Variant town. Like we looked at last year. And a lot of their ships also came with variants, but there was only 7 original ships yet last year. But they literally said that there was 21 new ships. That means 2/3 of them are variants.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It makes you wonder what the first full original ship is that we're going to get this year, and when that will come.
Yeah. I'll bet money on it, but it'll be smaller. They tend to be smaller or larger. And then they rapidly do variants like the Golem. Then we got a Golem Ox. And I'd also argue that's not the last Golem we're going to get. I cannot, and you and I have talked about this, but Agrid, I think I've talked briefly about with you. I cannot see them not making a refueler variant of that Golem. It screams refueler. Because there's a gap. So for those that know what I'm talking about, if you take the mining variant and you kind of look how the arm comes out, you can actually flip that arm to the back, and it perfectly goes right through the 2 little engines on the back. And so you just have the arm extend out backwards, and it basically becomes a refueler. And you can also widen it if you have to keep it wide like the Golem Ox.
Yeah.
And it just, instead of carrying boxes, it just carries
a fuel drum.
And they had
Years or whatever they wanted to do.
Concept images of it.
Yeah.
They had some concept images of it when they concepted the Golem. They did some of I wouldn't say a refueler, I'll say a tanker variant. Maybe it was a refiner or a liquid cargo ship. I don't know, but it had a giant tank on it, is what I'm saying.
What was I've got it saved here somewhere. What was that monthly report called? I've got it here, so I'm going to find it.
No. Forget.
Wasn't that in the subscriber thing?
Yeah. But what month was it? December? I found the December one. Hang on, let's see if it's
November, December.
There's a Salvation, so it's got to be before that. Salvation. Sorry, I'm doing this on another browser. Prowler, Utility, Perseus, Clipper. So it's got to be before December. Go ahead, Agrid.
I was going to say while you guys were talking, but you guys were talking so fast and so excited, I couldn't get a word in. But I was going to say I could see the next original ship we get. The first original ship we get this year would be the Ironclad.
Yeah,
possibly. And a couple of people in chat were actually saying the next original ship will be the Ironclad as well. But I kind of agree.
Can anyone in chat tell me the jump point episode that it was in? Just the month. Because I've got them all here. I've just got to
Which
find.
one are you looking for?
The one that had the golem in it. It's probably from way earlier on in the year.
Yeah, I had them all when I did my concept art show, but I've lost them. I deleted them now.
I just have them all smacked in my downloads folder, so they're even more annoyingly not organized.
I think it was the original Golem. Not the Ox, but the original Golem jump point. Yeah.
They're probably the original.
Which I think would have been around June or July. So probably the July one.
Close the entire browser then. Oh, there you go. I'll open it back again. So you guys
I will say, to just speaking about the next original ship, although this one is kind of a Mark II, but now that the Aurora Gold Standard is out, I think that clears the path for the Mark II to come whenever they're ready. Because obviously the Mark II was never going to, I don't think that was ever going to lead the Gold Standard pick. So
I have a visual update in my head. Do you remember when I went to you and Tristan, I said, can you guys do me a concept of the Mark II? Do you remember that? I now have a re-updated idea. I was talking with some people about it and it just epiphanized to me in my head. So you know how you've got I can never find VMXO's image when I need it, but you know the Aurora wings. Wait, it's Aurora.
Yep. Like the little dragonfly one. Yep.
All right. Star Citizen.
The one Chris put in his new silhouette
this
video.
one here. Yeah, this one here. Right. So it comes from this. But I was like, they're clearly going to make it a Mark II, so it's going to be like a wedge. Right? So if you also cross some, it takes some imagination here, but if you can pull it off, you'll be at the same place I'm at, right? Zeus, Star, Citizen, Wiki, right? So you got to cross-reference this in your head, right? And I'm trying to find the right image. Oh, so this one might pull it off. So see how the cab sits forward a little bit like that? Just the glass canopy. So now imagine that like the Aurora's head, right? So you know how the Aurora kind of sits forward or the Scorpius sits forward like that, right? So that is the head of this new Aurora Mark II, but it's got the body of a Zeus, but it can deploy wings like this. So it's a wedge that deploys wings. You see it? Does that make sense? So I think you get to have the Aurora look, but you've got those cool deployable wings, but it also, when it folds back up, it looks like this. I think that would work on multiple levels.
So you're saying borrow a little bit from Zeus, the Aurora, the Scorpius.
And then make it something new where it actually deploys wings like VMXO's idea. I reckon it works on all levels. If they can pull that off, it would look sick. So it's basically a Zeus that deploys the wings of VMXO's thing. And it's obviously smaller because it's Aurora-sized.
If they make a new Aurora, basically blend ideas of those ships and come out as effectively a brand new model. Yeah, I could take that as their new Mark II.
Yeah.
I hope when they bring out the Mark II, they don't say, well, the Mark I's no longer being produced. And I know that.
Okay,
what we're gonna do, but
so people are saying copium. It's just an idea, guys. It's not me saying what it could be. I'm just saying, well, it is me saying what it could be. I'm not saying that that's guaranteed what it'd be. But when I sat there and thought of it, how are you going to... Because clearly, I think you guys would agree, if you've got a Mark 1, they're going to say the Mark 1 Aurora is from the old days. The Mark 2 is an updated version, which is what they've done with all the ships so far. All the updated RSI ships are fucking Doritos. Right? So that implies to me that this new one is going to be Dorito-like, right? How do you get the cool idea that the community had into a Dorito? That's where this popped into my head.
Yeah.
I was like, can you put wings? Can you put wings on a Dorito? Technically, you can.
yeah.
Execute.
So, kind of. Sorry, who was going to say something then?
It's Lemming.
Go ahead, Lemmy.
Okay, go for it, Lemmy.
So I just sent you an image of the mole. Can you bring that up alongside the
Sneak peek.
the silhouette that was in the thing that got published today?
I can't bring them up at the same time because of the way I do screen share.
Okay.
But I can flick between them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to say this when y'all were talking about new concepts, but so if you look at that, can you bring up the one that I have?
You want the side on? So you want the mole? You want the mole? Yep.
Yep. All right. So if you look at the engines on that mole, the engines of the mole barely extend past the bottom of the ship.
I can put this in a simpler turn of phrase because I've already noticed what you're trying to say. This part here with the 8 on it, it's completely disappeared. That's what you're trying. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think the bottom level has completely disappeared.
Well, possibly,
I
but
think
this
it's a one-level ship.
Well, this part here, right? This part here is literally that engine there, where the A1 is. So this whole section has changed. This whole major VTOL thruster is pissed off, which tells me also it's not meant to go down to planet as much, because it obviously can land a salvage. It doesn't need to hover like the mole does. So they took the primary VTOL thruster off. It just doesn't need it. And what?
Right. So
and so this one here will rotate, and this one here will rotate on the vol, as I'm calling it.
Yeah. So my point is, I don't think that this new salvager, like the scale of that image right there, does not look like the same scale on the mole. So I think this is a completely new ship.
I think it is like the Paladin, like what Algared said. It's a heavily modified version. It clearly shares a lot in common. They started with a mole and heavily modified it. Right? It's almost, so, if you look at it as how they've been doing onboarding, they've essentially been scaling up. Right? So they basically goes, right, just change some little greebles here. Cool, whole new Saber Raven variant. Then they've started to do they've just gone up and up and up. Like they've gone up in size, they've gone up in the amount of variations they're doing. They're just learning as they go, going up and up and up. And eventually, I think we'll get back to the point where we're getting more full-size ships. Right? But where it is right now, I'm just not. I just hate what's happening because I really like the Paladin, but I hate what happened with the Asgard. Right? I much prefer bespoke ships to variants. Right? It just feels. I even know why they're doing it, and that's me as like a former developer person. And Grim, you would say the same thing, no doubt, right? You understand why they're doing it, but on the other side of it, as someone that's paying for these ships, it feels cheap. You know?
Yeah, it makes it's not, like I said, it's not the most exciting thing when one of the variants come out. When these sales really hinge a lot on excitement. You know?
Yeah.
So
if you go
to
was pointing out though that that area where the OA isn't a thruster. That's where the side floor comes out. The side bits come out.
It is actually. He is correct, and I am incorrect.
But one thing I do like about this new one is the name Argo. It's not a stencil. It's actually indented into the frame.
Maybe that's the arm. They've redone the arm things that come down, because in the Space Mon thing they did still come down. Maybe they're different now. They come down differently or something like that. That's a good point.
Maybe it's as Grim said a bit earlier. Maybe they're remote.
True.
So I think they are.
Yeah, they could be remote now.
Look,
I have to run, gents, but have a great rest of your show.
Yep.
I have to bow out, but I will be lurking.
pleasure having
Good to
you
see you,
here
bud.
for a little bit, Grim.
Good to see you. I'll
Thank
talk to you
guys.
soon.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Later.
You totally derailed my thing though with the Zeus lemming. You just went, no!
I tried to get a word in edgewise when you were talking about it, but I couldn't.
You gotta fight speak here, you know that by now? Come on, you've learned! Just speak up. I know you're a quiet guy. Just it's not hard to say execute, shut the fuck up. Like, or Algared, shut the fuck up. It's not hard. Just say it and we will. But I will ask you about this lemming. Because when you shrink the Zeus down, there becomes less space in these wing areas, right? So this wing area just becomes dead space. But if you can all of a sudden have it so those wings fold out, it's no longer dead space. And you could have it as a part of the, essentially it glides in atmosphere type of thing. I don't know, it could be interesting because you're still going to have this fat ass on it though. So it won't look like this because you'll have a fatter area back here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I could see them Doritoizing it a little bit. But I don't think it's going to look as cool as that last image that you just had up with the 4X.
With that one.
I mean,
yep.
That's very cool looking. But
yeah. So a long time ago, I actually do remember this. I think you've sent it to me, Spike. Spike sent this through. This is a very, he's pulled it up on his mobile phone and taken a screenshot, but I do remember this. Someone did it on Aurora Mark II years ago. And I do remember this. But yeah, that's a really old, this is old as hell now. But no, I think, how do I put this? They're breaking all their own. They're breaking all their own rules now, but by their own law, it's a Mark II. It's more likely leaning towards the Dorito design. But Algared, they can do anything they want now, and they've now proven they break every single rule. But you would tend to agree with me, yeah, based on trends. This is like a Dorito is probably more where they're aiming.
Dorito seems to be the new look they're going for RSI. Yeah. So it's a bit like I was thinking, Mini Kruger. Yeah. I love the old original Mini Kruger look. Yeah. I loved it from the days, when I used to watch the Bathurst races and the minis used to be in it. But the new minis, they've kind of got the look that they don't.
Before you change the topic, but by the same token, they cannot ignore this image. This image went so bloody viral. I just... That it was screaming by me, right? People saying, "Oh, they want this." Someone's come up with a cool design. I find it very hard for them to ignore that. But if anyone was going to ignore it, it would be CIG. So, and they just do what they want. I don't know, but that was how that was the only way I could say have their cake and eat it too, and that's where the idea came from, type of thing. It just came to me. I don't know. So we'll see what happens.
If they did an Aurora like that, as a Mark II, and kind of modernized it, made it a little bit bigger, did whatever they're doing, but kept the wings like that and had a fighter variant or whatever they do.
Yeah.
And kept it, and I'm thinking keeping it at the same price as an Aurora, they'd sell a crap ton. Yeah. It'd walk out the door.
Yeah.
Because it is such a cool look.
Yeah. As I said, if you can kind of have it so that those wings, when they fold back in, they make that wedge, and when they unfold, it's just the body of the ship underneath it. It works for me. It allows you to make it look somewhat like this, but it also allows you to have it like a wedge. It would be, I don't know. I don't know if they came up with that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I just had an epiphany and I went, I'll share it, see what people think.
Well, it is possible that even this design, CIG have looked at it and they just can't do it. A bit like
absolutely
the idea of the turrets for the Fury, but the Fury being that the actual turrets then they leave out and leave the ship at when they were looking at that for Starlancer. It could be one of those things. So
I don't know. I just wanted to put the idea.
It would be awesome to see that.
Yeah, I just wanted to put the idea out there. We'll see. We'll see where it comes. It could just literally be a boring old Aurora. We'll see. All right. Shall we do some questions, Algared, or do you?
We should, because we got at least a couple of pages of them.
Oh shit! Right. Okay.
So, Brandon Down Hour 9569 says, "What do you think the price of a salvaging mole will be? Current mole is $315. More less, or the same?
Where's your brain go?
My brain says more.
I'm at about 330. Is about where my brain's at. It gives you.
I'm going to say same.
Yeah, I'm about a little jump off the mole, so people that want to jump off the mole, but not. It's got to be under 400 because the reclaimer's there. And I think we'd all say the same thing, though. Just get a reclaimer. At that point, just get a reclaimer. It's so much little extra cash, and when you like in the video we did this week, you're talking a $70 difference right now, and it's one extra crew member. But you look at the ship, and it's 6 times the size. Like you're just not going to compete when it comes to the amount of cash you can earn. Everything we've been saying for years is becoming. I don't know. I don't want to say I told you so, but that's getting to that territory.
I think if you don't have a reclaimer now, that's your SOL. That it's going to probably half again in price.
I wouldn't be surprised with this coming along. It doesn't go up in price, quite frankly, at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that as well. And I would say hedge your bets. If you can get an upgrade to a reclaimer, get it to the closest ship to it, lock in that price.
Yep.
And that way, if it does double in price, and you decide you do want a reclaimer, you've got it.
Well, that's something else we can talk about while we've got Lemming here, actually, because that did happen this week. The raft, it actually jumped up in price quite significantly, even more than me and you were talking about, Lemming. What did we say? That 175 is what you and I were around about.
Sounds about the price we used to say. Yeah,
I was thinking 160, but yeah. Oh, 160
or
175, yeah.
Point still stands. It went to 190.
Yep.
So it jumped significantly more than I thought it would. That's the old Taurus price, and the Taurus is now like 220, which ironically is about the same price as the Hermes. So, and now the Hermes is $20 more than the Taurus. So, but right now you can buy it for War Bond for what's that, 200. So, yeah, crazy. Wait, have I actually? Maybe I stuffed that up. Hang on. Is it 220? Yeah, it might be 220 in the end. Yeah. So they'll be the same price. But I'd still take a Hermes at the moment over a Taurus, but each to his own. They are similar. I know Algared prefers the smuggling stuff, but if one's having hidden smuggling and the other's having blockade smuggling as they're selling it, I think they're arguably the same.
Yep.
But this carries 100 more SCU. So for me, at the end of the day, when it is a cargo ship, that's the better choice.
The 100 extra SCU is certainly something is something you don't want to sneeze at, but that shielded cargo area in the back of the Taurus, if you're after smuggling and you want to hide, you don't, people have to board you to find out what you've got there. But that's an advantage.
The argument though is potential versus function, because cargo is a function and hiding the cargo is potential. So when you do it like that, you've got to take function over potential. So again, I think it puts the Hermes in front of the. If there was a dollar difference between the two, I wouldn't be having this argument with you. I'd just nod and say yes. But when they're exactly the same price, function before potential every time. Right. I was trying to pull up this ship, but it's very hard to do that and have a conversation at the same time. Go ahead.
And along those lines, I could totally see, like, to be able to upsize the cargo box to make it shielded.
Yeah.
So have it take up an additional box size or something like that in the future.
Well, they talked about back in the day, I don't know if this is still going to be the case, but they talked about having individual cargo containers that shielded themselves. So can't you just do that and put it on the Hermes and problem solve, because it's also got an extra 100 SCU of cargo. So that just proves my point even more. And I'm not saying that will happen now, but they did talk about things like that. They talked about climate-controlled cargo containers that had a generator on them, and it maybe ate half the cargo, but you can technically have a frozen container or an overheated container. So they talked about...
Pete's now saying the Hermes is a nice $9 upgrade from the raft.
There you go.
Current pricing.
Yeah, but then the argument becomes the raft is so good in the game right now, and I would argue the raft is truly soloable, because I did all those missions alone. The Hermes is not. Yes, you get a massive bump in crew count, but I don't think there's a better, quicker ship to load cargo than the raft. And I tell you right now, if they made a bigger raft, I would be very tempted. If they had something that was literally on,
safer.
yeah, if they literally had something like that was ironclad sized, like a Corvette raft that held like 1,000 SCU, boy, would I be tempted. Because it is like, and I know you can get in the argument, it's like the whole sea, but the whole series is not the same because it can't land, right? I want something that's like a giant raft that can land, and I'd be all in.
Isn't that the whole B?
Well, you could also argue it's the banter mesh, man, because the whole cargo grid comes down and you can load it like the Taurus, right? Yeah. But the same problem is you got to stack it up really tall, so it becomes a logistics problem. But when it's all external like the raft, and there's no tractor beams on the banter mesh, man, either. Well, as of yet, but you get my point, right? Like, the raft just works for the game right now, and it works so well.
I find the raft is better, I think, than the Taurus, because the Connies have that problem where you load your cargo bay, but then you get to a point and to stack it up to the height you can do, you've got problems loading because you get you get level with your hull. It's very hard to stack. That's just me being pedantic.
It's really funny in the current missions too, because it's like they priced out their own ships, right? And let me explain. So the large missions right now don't work on the raft, but they also don't work on the Hermes. The Hermes is 288, and what are the missions in game? 296. So this, so you've left like 8 SCU that you got to leave behind. So the Hermes just, it's like, for fuck's sake, why didn't you just make it like 280 so the Hermes becomes the one for this patch? But no, they didn't even do that.
No.
You know? It's just funny.
I mean, you could just have the cargo, at least for now, just kind of loosen the cargo base.
You could, but the point still stands that I'm trying to make. When you're designing a ship and you want to make it like, tasty, let's design the entire patch around the Hermes being able to carry this amount of cargo, and then you fudge it by 8 SCU. Like, come on, what are you doing? It clearly shows that the tail doesn't know what the head is doing. It's Ouroboros. It's
I've worked it out. Elliot doesn't like the Hermes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's Elliot's fault. Yeah.
Elliot doesn't like the Hermes, so he made it so it can't do large missions.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll get one day. Elliot will come in here and he'll defend himself, and we'll just we'll just all start singing "Blame Elliot."
I can see every time we talk about Elliot, he gives us a finger, he sent to Pete.
That's it.
100% see it. But yeah.
I don't know if these guys... Have I shown that photo on stream? I can't remember if I had or not, but yeah. Sorry, Lemon, go ahead.
So is the upgraded raft for you, is that the Rayland?
Not really. Because it's still, you got to log into those pods. And again, that could be a different set of systems again. The Rayland might...
They said that the pods got scrapped, didn't they?
No. They got changed. So the old Rayland had hexadecimal cargo. Now it's just the boxes are inside the triangles. So if I go, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll go.
I thought they're triangular rather than.
No. Stop making it confusing. I just stop until I can get the right thing up, and I'll show people. Right. Rayland. Right. So if we go in here and we open one of these sexy images that they have. Right. I know they have some in here. Just give me a second. Right. So here you can see the cargo is a hexadecimal box inside a triangle. All you do is change the box to be a square box, but it's still inside the triangle. Problem solved. So these are just So these are just like something that held the boxes for the clearly Zion cargo. Now they're just making it so it holds human cargo and not Zion cargo, right? So all you would be doing is at the factory, Gatak factory, instead of putting on ones that hold the Zion cargo, you're putting on ones that hold human cargo. Yeah. So I think in the future we will see a variant of this that does hold hexadecimal cargo, but it'll be the Zion variant. So you know how we have the Zion ships designed for humans, like the Saulian and the Scout and the Santokai. They're designed for humans to fly, but also if you made a Zion variant, it'll probably be a little bit smaller because they're physically a little bit smaller. It's that type of thing.
Yeah. Now there are two questions. One, whether they just stick to standardized boxes across the verse, which they could do. But the other thing that I do recall is Ben actually said that they are keeping the triangles, the look of the triangles on the railing, but they are changing the way the cargo loads on that. So they are getting rid of that kind of hexagon-y box and just putting square boxes on. So it'll work with the standard boxes we've got. Is the takeaway I took from that.
So you can kind of see. So people are correctly pointing some things out, but slightly incorrectly. They've kind of said that when you kind of land, you'll essentially press a button and all the cargo will lay down across the pad. And obviously you can see the triangle caps are going to come off. And you can see that kind of grid thing in the middle. That's where you'll snap the cargo into. And then when you click the button, the caps will fold back on the end and everything will raise back up. Now, as I've said, I think it was on one of the streams with Grim, you know how where you put your landing gear down and it shows you the light where the door's going to go?
Yep.
When you go to land, you have a light where all the cargo is going to go. So it has a projector of where the cargo is going to go, so you can see you land somewhere. So when you hit the button, you know it's not going to go into the wall or into the door or something like that. You click the button, all the cargo will come down, the caps will fold off the ends. You'll just clip them into these central pieces. So the central pieces will be the parts sitting all on the ground, and you'll just clip all the cargo in. Once all the cargo is clipped in, you'll press a button and it'll come up. So as you're saying correctly, Lemming, it just comes down to speed. What's quicker, having one place where you can chuck all the cargo, or individually but easily accessible all over the floor? Because if it's all over the floor and someone puts it in the wrong, you know, the one that's right up close to the ship, if you put it there, it's fine. But if I put one too close, then I've got to walk around it to put the cargo in the back ones. You see what I'm saying? So it's got to be loaded very efficiently. It creates a different problem there, where you might be accidentally clipping it. Do you see what I'm trying to say, Lemming, or are you not visualizing what I'm saying? I'm realizing now it's very hard to visualize.
I think I understand what you're saying. I just need to go watch that episode again because I don't remember him saying that at all. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying that I need to go and watch it again.
All right, I'll see if I can do it this way, right? Can I? Yep. I've just really gone into something really quick to do it. Right, so this is from above, right? So if we've got the Raelian on the ground, and as you're landing, it's shooting like a projector out here on the ground to show you where it's going to land and put all the cargo. You've got your cargo bay over here. And if you've got those, if I go back to here, these frame pieces will obviously go out all over the ground. So if you've like, say there's a frame here, there's a frame here, you know, and they're all around here. If I accidentally, when I'm in over here at the cargo bay, and I put a piece of cargo in here, right? And, you know, I put a piece of cargo in here, and what I should have done is put it in this one. I have to now walk around to be able to put the cargo into this one. Does that make sense? Okay. So the problem is, because they're visually in each other's way where I'm standing here, I can't load it as efficiently. It requires multiple people to load it efficiently. Where the raft, because it's just a single area on the raft, I'm always going to the same spot. Get my point? That's what I'm trying to make. That's what's going to be the issue, right? So it's a tiny one, but it is an issue. If you stuff up, you're going to want to pull that off here and make sure you're loading it from the closest. The closest to the ship to the furthest away from the ship first. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yeah,
I think the raft is the easier way to.
Agreed.
The easiest one to load, but even at that, if you're doing multiple runs of planets, loading the raft correctly would also still be a thing. Making sure all the cargo for each place is together.
Well, I think this is the middle ground between the raft and the whole sea, because loading this will be more convenient, hopefully, than loading the whole sea, because the whole sea has multiple sides. So you've essentially got 4 sides to it, and you've got up and above, and you can only load it in space, so you can't do it on the ground. Where the Raelian, you're going to have to kind of go round the outside and load it around the outside. So.
Yep. No, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I do think, in both cases, loading your ship correctly is a skill that people will learn. And you're right. If you load it incorrectly, it takes more time to load and can make it more difficult.
I've got to shoot Robert down here, Robert, because in these screenshots, if I can find it, they literally show. Oh God, I swear they showed at some point. Maybe I've lost the screenshot that I go past it. They've literally talked about it. These come down to the ground, Robert. right? They don't have an animation of it, but they talked about it. He said they all come down to the ground, and you load it in, and then they all go back up. They've talked about it several times. So there's no argument on how it loads and unloads. They've literally stated that's what it's going to do. It's essentially the similar tech to the floating stuff, like the foot pedals on the Scouts,
on the Xi'an and
yeah,
stuff.
and we've got the special elevator for this that goes up and down. They even have an elevator like that on the Odyssey. It's essentially just that floating tech that has two states where it floats up and floats down. So that's all it is. It's just that, except instead of just one elevator, it's every single one of them is a separate elevator. And I assume, Algared, that's the tech they're going to use for this. Multiple elevators that basically just go up and down, and that's it. And they're all on the one switch.
So I'm going to come back at you, Robert, because Robert says, so it's going to be even easier, not much harder, to load than a raft to load if it's on the floor. Yes,
actually,
no. As Execute was saying, if you load the cargo so it's blocking your cargo bay, it makes it harder.
He does have a point though. If they actually made it so that it was those rings essentially hover in the air in one spot, you could make it raft-like. He's not wrong. Yep. So I actually get what he's trying to say. So if you actually had it so all the caps come off and they just kind of stack themselves on the floor somewhere, and then the rings just hover sideways in the air above, it'll just be like a raft grid. He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Yep. I have to give him that. If they modified it, but here's the question, Robert. Do CIG have the vision to pull that off? Because they stated them on the floor. But do they have the vision to make it raft-like, Robert? I think you've found a really good way to do it, Robert, but I don't think they're going to do that. I hope you're right though, Robert, because that is a cool idea.
The other question I'd come back to in terms of that is there, if they're doing it on the floor, is it a tech reason as to why it's on the floor rather than the hovering tech?
Robert sealed the deal. He just said, "Shit, no." Then, because he realized, well, if you're right in your idea, Robert, but if you go look at what they've said, the word they used was floor. They said it spreads out all over the floor. So, and it does technically make it the middle ground between the raft and the hull, because if you actually made it hover in the air like that, it would literally defeat the entire purpose of the raft, and therefore make it just as good as the raft, where therefore it makes the Raelian better than the raft. So why would you buy? Well, I guess it makes it that. It's kind of what Lemming said. It does make it the bigger raft. I hope they do it, Robert. I really do, because I would definitely buy one if that's the case, and I would like it in an alien ship. That's a double win. Yep. I cannot turn Algared. Well, maybe I can turn Algared up. It's saying they're saying your voice is low, Algared, but I will look at it real quick. And
am I low?
I don't know. No one said anything about you. People are just complaining about Algared being too low. Again, Algared did have some mic issues. Algared, do you want to speak for me for just a little bit? We'll do a live.
Talking, and testing. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1
I've
2
almost
1 2.
I've almost maxed his volume. It's about 95%. So we'll try that and see if he's is that a bit better now. All right. Anyway, where I was up to now? Yeah. I think everyone grabbed a couple of Raelian and Hull B CCUs, but I didn't grab any raft ones. Were they worth grabbing as hindsight now? Were they worth grabbing in hindsight, Lemming? Do you think now?
So I actually think that the raft is a carrot on the stick to get people to commit early, and then the Hull B is going to come out and just blow this thing away.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, because the Hull B's going up, the Raelian's going up. In my case in point, the Raelian was 220, and they've literally said the cargo is going way up. That implies at least it's going to be double.
That implies the price is going way up.
Yeah, and my bet was, well, I'll have a Hull B to wherever it's going to go, and hopefully it doesn't go high, because I think that to fuck that CCU chain, it's got to go above 220. Which is what this was, right? So to fuck all those CCU chains, so you can't go Hull B to Raelian to whatever else is after that, they deliberately make it so it crosses it so you can't go backwards. So you had to have previously linked those chains, which I didn't do stupidly. Now I'm sitting here going, God damn it. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think the fact
Raelian was not $320, Dom. It was $220. Nice.
I think the fact that
he retracted his message. He knew his mistake before I even said it. But he retracted his message. You're forgiven, sir. Yeah, 225. Yeah, it was 225. My bad. Sorry, but it wasn't 320. It was 225. But point still stands. It was not 320. Anyway, go ahead, Agro.
I think the fact that the raft is going up to 190 is an indication of what's happening with those cargo vessels. They're all going to jump in price massively.
Yeah.
In comparison. So,
do you think that's because it's like Cargo's got some more gameplay coming, or just that it's a bit more polished and a bit more like combat now, so they're seeing it maturing, so that's why they're putting those prices up? You think it's a little bit like the fighter situation?
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
Yes and yes. They're starting to bring in more missions that are cargo related.
Mm-hmm.
It is becoming more polished, so it's getting to that point where it's like combat. It's a bit like mining, you know. If they've developed, we've seen them massage the prices of those ships in line with what their capabilities in game.
Yep. So Folio01 said, I had a raft and got a CCU from a raft to a whole B ready to go. Well, I'd have the same thing again from a whole B to Aurelian. Quite honestly, I'd be sitting there with all three kind of ready to go. I picked up 5 whole B ones and 5 Raelian ones because I saw that jump and I was like, that's like on the whole sea coming out type of territory. Yeah, you know, that's a significant jump.
Well, even going back to the Hermes, you know, the Hermes $9 upgrade, and Sandgraper said earlier, you know, if you got a $5 upgrade from the raft to the whatever ship he was,
it was the Nova
ship he was talking about. Sorry.
It was from the Nova.
Yeah, from the Nova to the raft for $5, and then you went the $9 upgrade from the raft to the Hermes. That's quite a huge saving.
I don't think it's quite $9. It's $10. I think Pete's looking at with the EU tags on, so I think it's $10. But still the same, just different price. But all right, it's gonna be interesting. I am looking forward to the Raelian though, because and confirm it's an original ship. You know, it's not a thing. And the whole B, I think we can all agree. I don't know. You saw my theory on how they're going to make it land, right? You guys saw that. Do you think I'm kind of pointing on with that, or do you think there's another way they can pull it off? Because they're talking about being in an X, right? I'll go back to my paintbrush here. Wish I could. The only problem is that this was not fat enough. Wait, I need to make it fatter. Wait, there's a paintbrush. Can I? Hey, there we go. Right. So I'll just paint over the top here. But wait, can I select or delete? I can't. Sweet. Paint brush. Right. So you have the whole B from front on. If you've got wings, they said it's going to be an X formation like this. The only way that I can see that working without it being needlessly complicated is that essentially imagine these two things here on poles or whatever, and so therefore when it lands you rotate the 2 X pieces up to be like that. That's how I see it working. And that allows you to load, because these panels basically don't collide with each other, so you can load onto both structures when it's on the ground as well. So that's the only way I can see it pulling off landing and loading simply. So
I was actually thinking about this. So if you only load the top,
did it hurt?
Yeah, it did.
Well, then I was gonna say, if it didn't hurt, you didn't do it properly. Okay.
Let him finish.
So if you only load the top and the bottom, so on the bottom side, so if you only load cargo on the bottom side of the bottom and the top side of the top, then you can collapse them down to purely be on the sides.
So you mean like essentially kind of like this type of thing? Or a little bit like this, like that.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I get what you mean. No, I get what you mean. Yep. That would work too. That would work too. So what he's saying is,
when you land, you're just really fat.
Yeah. So if I just undo this slightly, so instead of the X going into 2 L's like this, it's essentially it's turning. It's almost like an X wing that closes its wings. So you're saying instead of like this, it basically becomes like the Scorpius, essentially. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
What, yeah, I could say that. Yep. But I think the reason why I did it with the like this was because you need to keep them straight. So there needs to be they need to be parallel, not like this. You know what I mean? So they essentially, though it looks like an X, they're actually 4 separate individual gimbals like that. That's the only way that works. But it does work. You are correct. You are correct. So that would be the other way.
In terms of a CCU to the raft and etc., Sandgrapper said $5 to the raft, and the raft jumped $65. Hell yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's a huge saving. So yeah, so if you did get that type of thing, you're scored.
Yeah,
but if this is a carrot on a stick, like what I think it may be, imagine what the whole B may do.
Well, the whole B has gone up in amount as well. I think the whole B has to be higher than a Taurus even, or Hermes, because it's like 3. Didn't it go to like 3? It was like 320 as in SCU, and it went up from there. So if it's gone, did it go up, or is it the same? Oh god, I can't remember. But the point I'm trying to make,
it's gone up a lot.
What I'm trying to make, the old one was 320 and a Hermes is 288, right? You look at the tech levels of the two ships, RSI versus MISC, I'd say it's roughly the same. One's internal, one's external. At that point, I think the whole B becomes lower than the Hermes. And the Hermes is what's the final price on the Hermes? 220? Is it 220?
Yeah.
Currently 220.
So what's that, 200?
Yeah, so
yeah.
Chat's saying that the whole B is now 512.
All right, so if the whole B is now 512, then it's definitely more than that. The Caterpillar is 330, and it's an eternalized 575. So it can't be higher than that because it's eternalized, not external. Right, so external will make it cheaper.
Right, which is why I was saying double what it is right now.
You're looking at about 280. That's where my brain's about. 280. Almost, yeah. Which is there's not a lot of ships in that territory. Like the triage is 275. Go ahead, Algared.
Sage, it's interesting that the whole B used to be about 320. It's now gone to 512, and we've got the Hermes, which is close to that old cargo metric, and so it's the whole B used to be the only ship in that kind of cargo capacity.
I'm absolutely kicking
that level.
I'm absolutely kicking myself that I didn't get RAF to whole B. I got whole Bs, but I got actually it doesn't really matter, does it? When I think about it, I think you're right. I think it is a carrot on a stick. Because if you have an original whole B one and you only paid $5 for it, it jumps even more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as soon as you go to the raft, you actually you use 2 CCUs to get up there, and you use $10. Well, it's not that much of a carrot. You lose $5 basically, don't you? That's all you really lose is $5. Because but you're right.
People that that aren't patient.
Yeah,
they don't wait for it, and they just
Yeah, I think that's what I picked up. Their darkness was a Cutlass Reds to whole B, and I picked up 5 of them, and then I picked up I think it was something like a Hurricane to Raelian, and I picked up like 5 of those as well. But yeah, I didn't worry with the other with the raft because I just kind of wasn't really interested in the raft at that point. Again, the raft is a great ship.
In the mission, and you went, "Wow!"
No, because that came out beforehand. The raft for me is just a buy-in game. You gotta have things to earn in game. Yeah. I don't do cargo every day of the week, and I don't know if you know this, Algared, but as a content creator, people tend to just throw cash at me. It's kind of fucking weird. Right? I'll jump in game and just like, oh, $1 million credits. Why are you giving me money? So I just take that money and I buy a raft, right? You know. And I just use the raft, you know, like it's just a ship that I buy in game. I've got a few other ships like that too. Don't you do that, Algared? There's the one every patch that you earn. So I earn a Hurricane, I earn a Hawk. They're the ones that I kind of go out and weirdly like to fly. But that's just
I usually buy a Nursa because I don't actually own a Nursa, so I usually buy the Nursa.
Well, that too, same thing. You got to have things that you earn. And I'm happy to sit there and earn a raft. Because let's be honest. There's probably only going to be cargo missions, once, twice a year now? And it just gives me something to do rather than just owning every ship.
Oh, mine are the Vanguards.
There you go.
I like Vanguard because they have great stock quantum drives.
Yeah. Now, Brandon, aren't you happy that your question took us an hour?
No, it took like 30 minutes, but close enough. Yeah. Go ahead.
Exaggeration, hyperbole. No, that's not that question. Right, the next question is from Sandgrabber. Has anyone asked Execute his thoughts on the RSI Hermes yet?
Oh, he said herpes,
Sorry,
actually.
RSI herpes.
They'll probably turn to you for design points on the herpes. You know more about it than anyone else, clearly, Sandgroper.
Clearly, Sandgroper is a fan of the Hermes.
No. He's a fan of herpes. That's why I said herpes. Hey, man, not going to judge.
Dillman,
just go get it checked out.
Yeah. Dillman94. Does JC name the ships, though? Salvation was Chris Roberts, no?
No, I get the feeling that anyone can put up a name, but I think a lot of the names probably come from the lore team. I think they'd be the people having first crack, but I think at the end of the day, Chris picks the names. Because, again, from what we heard about Salvation, he picked the name, and nobody could deter him. I heard it from 2 people at CIG that they all tried to get him to name it something else, and he refused. Yeah.
Because you like the name. A bit like the cutter.
Yeah. But someone else said it in chat earlier. I do forget. I did read it, but I forgot who said it. The Salvation should have been a medical ship. It works for a medical ship. Works for a medical. But it also
missed opportunity.
I think it works for Salvation. Put it this way: would have been really cool if you could have done a variant that was also medical. But how are you going to pull off a medical and a salvager? I just don't see it. But
yeah.
All right.
The flying buttress.
Drones. That's how.
Drones. Oh yeah. True. Could have done drones. Go on, flying buttress. Yep.
The flying buttress. What do we know about the Kruger Stingray?
Diddly shit.
Nada.
It's bigger than the Wolf.
I think. How do I put this? My instinct goes to, from what we've seen from Kruger so far, they are clearly designed at luxury combat ships. Now, the next question becomes: is what do they start to put internals on these ships, or because what defines luxury to me would be a luxurious interior. So, could you make a medium fighter from, because that's clearly the next one up, right? It's medium. We've done a light fighter. What's a medium fighter? Does their medium fighter become a little bit like, say, the Banu Defender, and it has internals? And if that's the case, that would be interesting because it's a medium fighter that has internals. But by the same token, that also has drawbacks because the ship gets larger. Juxtaposition. And that is in line. That is in line with what we've seen from the Origin series, where they're so much larger. They're essentially a whole size class up. It's the 400i has really good aspects for a medium ship, but it's in fact a large. So, yeah.
I would love to see, and I'm not saying the Stingray is this, but I would love to see a transport ship like Queen Amidala's ship from Star Wars. I would love to see a Kruger ship that was kind of that size.
Yeah, I think that's what you're weirdly kind of strangely implying a similar thing is like, are they going to start to move outside the purview of luxury combat? Or are they purely just luxury combat? So that's the thing. It becomes really hard to ascertain because we don't know because they don't have any precedents. It's where CIG chooses it to go. We're at a crossroads, basically. Lemmy?
I was just going to say, there's a whole bunch of people that want it to be the Naboo. I think it's the Naboo Cruiser. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And it does have that Stingray-she type of look as well. So it does lean a lot of credence to that style. And when you think of the name, you kind of really can't get away from that look. So I think we're on track.
And I very much think that we saw it when we saw the discarded concepts of the Wolf,
of which I would open if I only could find the right goddamn thing.
Now,
but I can never find
Spicy in chat says, I don't think it's accurate to label Kruger as luxury. that treads on Origin too much. Kruger
No.
is retro futurism.
You are completely incorrect.
I disagree with you.
I completely disagree with him as well. It is 100% luxury, and why? Like they've always said, they want competitors to every other manufacturer. We essentially already have a competitor, and that's RSI to Origin because they made the Phoenix. That right there proves you completely incorrect.
And when RSI made the Phoenix, when they brought out the 600i, the marketing basically said, this is Origin's answer to the Phoenix. And it was basically, this is how you do luxury. But what we pick up with Kruger is known for being making precision parts, making top quality parts.
Yeah.
They're used in pretty much everything you got. If you've got a trigger for a rifle, it's probably Kruger. It's that type of thing. And when they made their snub, when they made the P-52 and 72, they were doing proof of concept. We can make ships because we make all the parts. When they made their weapons, their I forgot the name of the weapon, the one that's on the
it's right on the tip of my tongue. The one that's on the Raven,
the
yeah.
Tiger Strike.
Yeah.
The Tiger Strike, the one that's on the Avenger.
Yeah.
That was originally a Kruger weapon. In law, wasn't selling because no one knew who his company was. They partnered up with Aegis and went back, and they went, "Wow, this is an awesome weapon." And so, but they made that weapon because we make all the parts. Why not make the weapon? And so it's a company that in the past has made precision parts, and then now and precision ID, really top quality stuff. So high cost, really reliable, and now they're building up a ship. So it's that luxury in terms of high reliability, high value, that type of aspect, as opposed to being spit and polished gold. That's how I kind of see it. But that futuristic look, to me, kind of has that retro futuristic look. Does kind of have that. Yeah, it feels luxurious. So.
Yeah. All right, next one. I can't find the jump points. I've obviously either got them on the other PC or misplaced them. So yeah. Next question when you're ready.
Yeah, when we're using luxury, I think Needleys, we're saying that it's that high reliability, precision aspect.
I think it's German luxury. It's in the name. Like I'm talking like like you go into like you look how Germans do castles and stuff, and you go in and there's like it's old school luxury. It's like classic cars Jaguar, where luxury today is high tech luxury, which is what Origin is. Right? It's high tech. It's like Apple. All the new tech, bing, bangs, and whistles. But then you've got that old school luxury, like a classic cars field. That's what Kruger is. It's what was at the peak technology, but 50 years ago.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
So, in this aspect, when I'm talking luxury for Kruger, I am referring more to precision engineering and top quality, as opposed to gold leaf trim and the rest of it. So, but Origin also has that high idea of precision parts and reliability. Yeah. So I can see them both doing that. But in the law, that's the key thing that Kruger are known for, those precision parts. Making top quality precision parts and often under budget. Anyway, next question. C. Nolan 1290 says, thoughts on what is the closest competition to the Hermes? Asgard cost way more. Taurus has less SCU. Raft has open cargo, etc.
You answer that one. I'm still trying to find this RSI stuff. I found my.
I don't think it exists today.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Hermes is in that, as X said, it's sitting in that 300 and odd SCU cargo capacity, and there's another ship that's really sitting in that. So it's better than a Taurus because they're both internal storage, and the Hermes is better. Or got larger storage. It's so yeah, I think it's in a class of its own at the moment.
I don't think that'll be the case at the end of the year.
No,
I think that's the case right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain you're correct, but where it'll end, I don't know.
Right, I found the wolf one.
Somebody in Twitch is saying start answer max.
What were we looking for?
So.
What were you looking for here in the wolf concepts? You said there was a Stingray looking one, yeah, in the concepts. That's what I'm looking for.
No, so I have a feeling that the Stingray one is in the abandoned concept. I don't know if that's the abandoned concept one of that. Yeah, there it is there. So like that. Oh wait, stop. That one right there, right above your head.
This one here.
That could easily be the Stingray. Like
I agree.
The one off to its right.
Oh, this one. I don't know which one you mean,
I'm
Lemming.
like using my mouse.
Yeah, I can't see your mouse on your screen.
I know that. I'm
the one
right.
above
I know
your
that.
head.
That's why I was joking. Yeah, the one above your head or the one to its right.
So these two.
So those could easily be it.
Yeah. These are like the original concepts they did in that video too. That's probably the image I really need to bring up. But yeah, absolutely true. You go back and this happened before when we saw other concepts, like the Sulian was actually originally a concept for the Raelian. So they go back to others that they liked. And the other thing is, if I can find this wolf concept citizen, it used to just come straight up when I used to do this. Yeah, this image. Now, one of the things you'll notice in this image straight off the bat, if I bring it up, is A is literally what turned out to be the wolf. Notice how all the others are greatly increased in size?
Yep.
Like E is very large.
Yeah. So I can clearly see they've just gone make a bunch of ships and then they've basically just put them into size categories and go. So I can clearly look at D or E. B's even got that angled head on it. So again, you pick any of these and you give it a Stingray looking look on the front. There's your ship. And this is very close to what actually came out. It's not exactly the same because the engine changed. Why did the engine change? Because they would have had to do new tech to pull the engine off. But also, if you look at the final one, it's not as elongated. It's actually shorter. It's not stretched as in this. So again, you can see them unstretching it a bit and then putting a head on one of these, or even cross-pollinating a couple of them. Why can't I take the front of B and put it on the back of G or F or whatever? You can see where they're going to cross-pollinate.
I think the Stingray could easily be B, because that looks like a Stingray there.
Again, you go back and look at the what was it called, Algared? You called it what? The Naboo thing? What was it the Naboo?
The Naboo cruiser.
Naboo cruiser.
I think that's what it's called.
It's that I saw the image there for a second. It's this one.
It's that first one right there.
That one there is not. That's the one she had in. That's one. That's one she had in episode 1. This is the one she had when she was the ambassador, and that's the one I think looks more like a Stingray because it's got the wider head. But yeah, because it's on this platform and it explodes. That's how I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I remember it. But I think that one's the more Stingray looking one because again, it's like a manta ray, like a Stingray.
Yeah.
Where this, that's just a fish or something, you know.
Yeah. I like both of them. Both the cuttlefish, but yeah.
I don't think you
I like both of them, and I like the look of both.
Yeah, I don't think you need to go this wide though, but just yeah. Again, they'll make it similar to these, but again, I don't think it'll be as wide as that, and
cut the wings off at the engines, and then
basically, basically cut the wings off of the engine. Because again, isn't that like it almost looks like the wolf there, but it's got 2 engines instead of 1. So you can kind of see, and they'll make differentiations. Like I don't reckon they'll use 2 engines as an example because it's too similar to that, you know. And again, you go back and look at the wolf. It's got cues from the Naboo, but it's completely different, right? It doesn't have for example, is these engine trail things that go back to a point. It doesn't have those. They deliberately cut them off. It's also why they put the wing on it, the fin on it, because there's no fin on any of these. So by putting major design differences in, but having it's just hinted at, they can't claim copyright. Well, there you go. Look, there it is there with the wings cut off.
Yeah.
That looks a lot like a Stingray to me.
That looks a lot more like a Stingray. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be enough to differentiate it from...
And the question then becomes, is it a multi-crew ship? Is it a ship with internals? Is it just a heavy fighter? But yeah.
Point noted.
Yep. Dave, so Aves 4216 had their question was, aside from the name, what do we think about the Hermes? I think we've talked a heap about the Hermes, so we're going to, I think we've actually answered that question already.
It'll be in the review. If we say any more, there's no point us doing a review. So, yeah.
Rocketman 194.
I'm probably not going to be in the review, so I'll answer it this time and say that I absolutely love it.
There you go.
There you go. Rocketman 194 says, will we get data banks and med beds to swap in any ship with cargo grids? That's a good question. It's one of the things that we've seen them talk about in the past. It's one of the things we've seen with the, in some of the missions previously. So it's possible.
So everybody have their tinfoil hats handy? So I think that because one of the things that you're running for this mission that we're doing right now is research. And I have a feeling that they wanted data running to be in the game when this mission came out.
Yeah.
And they had to pivot.
And if you're taking those cryopods as cargo, then that's isn't that kind of like med beds?
Mm-hmm.
Put people in storage and carry them. So,
real quick before we continue on, I did want to show this because I did actually find it. So this is the one Grim and I were talking about earlier. So if you go down here, you can see this one here clearly looks like a little bit like a refueler with those big drum pods on it. So they went through all these different concepts here. You can see ones that they've put in and thrown out. Here's a vulture looking one, all these different ones. But just see how it even has the drums drop off and stuff like that. So basically, you can see it very quickly how you could just put drums on it or spheres on it, and it'll be a refueler.
And turn it into a refueler. And if you did that, where you'd put that arm for the refueling, it would also fit between those two drums. So,
if you look at the golem itself, the arm comes out the top. I don't know if I can get an image here of it. You've really thrown a spanner in the works, Algared. So back here, you can actually have the arm. It goes back the other way. There is a gap between these two engines if this front little section would move, because that doesn't need to be there. And so literally, you can just have the arm go backwards, and that way you can fly up behind the golem, and it would refuel you. But by the same token, there's nothing to stop them having the arm go forward and backwards, so you can. I guess
front or back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think realistically, most of the fuel ports on ships, it works either way, because it'd be cool if you could have it go out the back so it can refuel ships in atmosphere. But if it goes forward, it means it can only refuel ships in space. So it really comes down to how they want to design it at the end of the day, and those restrictions they want to have in place. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Next question, everybody.
Dillman. 94 says, did you see the triage decal? Yes, we did. Thank you for pointing that out. Arcanian TV says, why do you think they didn't do a cargo module?
I think
stay off the drugs.
Got in the way.
Stay off the drugs. Drugs are bad. Stay off the drugs.
So what were you going to say, Lemmy?
I think that the walls got in the way, and so they just got rid of them.
Yeah.
He said
so the walls were in the way.
But he said, why didn't they do a cargo module? But they did do a cargo module. Stay off the drugs. Drugs are bad.
I think it's the idea of like keeping the Apollo kind of like the Apollo, but you swap out those rooms and more cargo grids in.
Because the walls are a waste of time. They just make it hard to load cargo in.
The only reason you would have had that is if you were doing climate control. A specialist cargo vessel. Maybe they'll do something like that at a later point, but at the moment, they just wanted one that did as much cargo as possible. Rabbit SC says, Do you think we'll see another version of this chassis with modules for data servers like the Hermes M for modular?
No.
Anything's
I think if
possible.
anything, it would be a variant of the Apollo versus a variant of the Hermes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd kind of see that.
I can see both. It would be a Hermes variant or Hermes module. That's essentially all I can see left. But why wouldn't you have called this the Hermes loader or the Hermes CL?
Yeah.
What? And that's the only other thing I can see coming in the future is if they do bring out another variant, they go back and pre-name this to the CL, which I find weird. Or it is just a module and they release it when data running comes out and go, surprise, motherfucker. Yeah. If all they've ever done was go, yeah, cool, let's just make it a cargo ship, that is so uninspired. Like, even though I know I said it myself, it just makes the ship so boring. It's yes, we did technically need a cargo ship at that size though, so it is, but you know, it's warranted.
It's a vanilla ship.
Yeah,
the cargo capacity is great. They took a great hull and they just turned it into a vanilla ship. Another cargo.
A bit lackluster, isn't it? And John Crew did say, oh, it's for people that didn't like medical, but they wanted another gameplay. But again, when they said another gameplay, they weren't saying, I want a cargo ship either. They were probably more likely saying they wanted a combat ship, let's be honest. But
yeah.
So I said this on Discord, and so I'll say it here, is the Hermes is everything that the Zeus CL should have been.
True. It is a very much better version of the Zeus CL. But I'd also argue it has some other issues because the tractor beam on the Zeus at least goes outside. Its trouble is getting through that hole. But if you had a larger hole on the Zeus, that would fix its problem. If you put the exact same tractor beam on the Hermes, you'd have a completely different problem. So by combining those two ships' tractor beam systems together, we'll put it this way. If you had a track on the Zeus that went inside, wouldn't that fix issue? Yes, it would. But this now has the issue where it can't get to the cargo thing, so it's a completely different issue. The irony of that they tried to fix one problem and made a whole new one is hilarious. It's hilarious to me. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just...
just right. Hermes MR, when? When CIG decide they want to sell another combat ship?
I would have made it wouldn't you have made it the LN?
Yeah, the Legionnaire.
Yeah, I'd make it the Hermes LN.
If I was doing an MR, it'd be a bounty hunting ship because it's a mercenary.
Yeah, and you kind of want to upgun it, so it kind of goes to the LN for me personally, and you'd be losing functionality on the inside to pull that off, like more weapons and stuff, which is kind of what the LN does. It only still has the 3 SCU. It doesn't go to the 6 like the Clipper, and fundamentally, this should have been the Hermes CL in that case. But again, see if history changes things. Maybe they get inspired and come back in a couple of years' time. Who knows?
Yeah. Look, and if CIG bring out a small vehicle that can do fabrication, then every ship can be a fabricator because you just put the small vehicle in there. Or if you can have a fabricating plant,
Typhon,
every ship can be one because you've just put it in the ships.
Typhon Phoenix says the Zeus CL needs a tractor beam station in the cargo area. I don't disagree with you, but also where are you going to put it? Because it's got so limited amount of space. That's one of the problems with it. It's trying to be a freelancer max and fails at every single turn. The Zeus, while it hit all these things that CIG wanted it to be, like Ben said he wanted it to be pokey and they wanted to have this feeling and all that. The problem is, as people that fly these ships, and I'm talking about all of us, we look at it and it just functionally misses everywhere. So you can design a thing for a look and a feel, but I think they're slowly learning its functionality is king. Because you look at what he learned with the Polaris, and it's taken him a year to come around, but they've gone back and done all the stuff they did on the Perseus to the Polaris, and the Polaris is way better now. So it's all it is starting to hear a little bit of feedback from us. You don't have to take everything on board because let's be honest, half of us are fucking crazy. And I think when I say selective feedback, I'm not talking about content creators at all. I'm talking about, like, say you're making a cargo ship like the Hermes, right? Who would you go talk to, Algared? And for me, very obviously, it's like people that actually work in cargo and logistics, long haul truckers, that any of those type of people that work in that field, and then obviously people that probably use cargo ships in game. But I wouldn't be talking to people that are combat pilots or PvP or you know, a NASA space engineer. It's pick who you get your feedback from, and we've recommended that, and we do the same ourselves when we do the point of view series as well. So
yeah, and that often does change our literally often changes our point of view.
Absolutely.
Like, I know we used to really heavily criticize the dropships and say, you know, no, they were all useless. And it was the point of view episode talking to the military guys, and they said, no, yeah, when you try and look at them and go, yeah, they're useless. But when you look at each one individually and look at how you'd use it, every one of them has a niche. And so it changes your point of view. So, yeah.
It's ironic. Dom4419S actually said it would work as a dropship. And yeah, you could. You can literally almost take any hull and turn it into a variant of something else. But it's whether you should or not is the next question, right? You know, especially
now that you can put seats onto the cargo grid, or you can put a small fabricator onto a cargo grid.
I think we have to give credit where credit is due. They are now starting to listen. They are now starting to take things on board. They are improving. Right? We've been waiting for years for them to kind of improve, but we have to give credit where credit is due. They are starting to improve. It would just be a little bit nicer if it came up to speed sooner. And I think we're going to still see this problem. Now they're removing concepts, right? Let's be honest. This is one step along from where the Starlancer was at, right? So they're learning. You can see that they've learned, but they've still got a little bit to go. They need to start to talk to people that are, like, if they're thinking about designing a particular style of ship, then get some feedback. Like, what would you want to see? You don't have to go, here's the Hermes before it comes out. Tell me what the fuck's wrong with it. No, you don't have to do that. You need to say, what would you like to see and how should it work? And they have learned from their previous mistakes, because let's be honest, this is a step up from the Zeus. We can all see that. But they didn't, that they fixed the problem the Zeus had with the tractor beam, but they made a whole new one. Right? So now that so you've overcorrected, now you've got to correct back again and go to the middle. Right? So they are learning. So, and every time you make a prototype, right? And Elon Musk has said this, right, as an example, and they've done it with Starship. It takes usually 3 variants or 3 alliterations to kind of get close to. It's not perfect, but it's really damn close. It's like 90% there, right? And that's what they did with Starship. They did 3 variants, and they've got to they're going into mass production now. They had 1 flight tower. They're now building out 4 flight towers, and they're now beginning to build a bigger Giga Bay. They're gonna start mass producing this 3rd variant. But I know you agree with me about Algared. Eventually, there'll be a 4th variant that starts to close that 10%. It's the same thing here. They're just going to keep correcting, and eventually they're going to nail it.
And they used to take, feedback from the fans, and they got some really wacky ideas.
Oh yeah,
the classic was the freelancers.
Yeah, and now I would argue there's too much to sift through. So they have to go out and find the people in the audience that do that. Yep. So if they put out something like, we would like to hear from firefighters, how many people do you think would go out and go, oh, I'm a firefighter, but actually they're a doctor?
Yeah.
How do you know that they're actually a firefighter? They'd have to prove that they're a firefighter before you'd even listen to their feedback. So that makes more work for CIG because they've got to sift through it. That's why they don't do this. It's just too much work.
Well, if you look at the survey from last year versus the survey from this year, they are definitely learning, because the survey this year was very focused, and they were looking for very specific information in it.
It was so bloody long. That was such a long survey. Like, when I sat down, I thought, oh yeah, this has to be. I went, what? I'm in a quarter way through. I've been for 15 minutes. Like, what the? Like, it was long. Yeah. It was really long.
It was.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Next question. I've vented. I feel better now.
You did. Rabbit had a question on the Hermes, and why is the structural reinforcement on the roof? Basically, it's just taking away the skylight and covering up where the tractor beam track is.
And removing
it's just greebling.
Yeah, it's just greebling, but removing it also improves performance, right? Because for two reasons, you have to render all those cargo boxes when you look through the window, where when you're doing medical beds, you've only got to render people, right?
Yep.
And every single cargo box is an entity. So if you had multiple 1SCU cargo containers, you've got to do an entity for every single one of those. So if you block the window off, you can just cull every single one of them, right? That's the main reason. It comes down to entity count, because you can have an entity for each bed. So at most you're going to have 6 beds, and then say you got people in, that's 12 entities. Then you do 288 SCU, 288 versus 12, boxes. And that's why they called the window. That's your answer right there. Entity count.
So the window is just blocked, and the structural reinforcement, as you called it, is just greebling.
Yeah,
it's just But 100% with your reasoning, it's that whole how many objects do you have to render?
Yeah, entity count. Well, it's not objects, because you can connect objects, but the cargo crates, if they're individually not connected, so 288 is just too many.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Q Solo SC says the Clean Air event offers 2 Apollo paints that are virtually the same.
One's the Apollo, one's the Hermes. One's the Apollo, one's the Hermes. And the way you can tell was in the video where they were previewing the Hermes. So last week's video, they actually said the Hermes is coming, and they had it on screen, and it was one of those 2 skins. And if I go, give me a second, I'll pull them up and I'll tell you which one is which too, because you can even tell. Give me a second. I gotta go to Spectrum post. Spectrum, what is it? Spectrum. Yeah. You go here, you can look at this yourself. So when you go into announcements in general, so it's this one, announcements, and it's this one here, the patch. And then what you're looking for is the FAQ clear the air. And when you get in here and scroll down, there is this image here that shows you all the rewards. You can see the one that's got the more yellow in it, and then this one with the less yellow. This one is under collections, and these are medical-like things. That's the medical one. This is the Hermes.
Yep.
So that's the Hermes, and that's the Apollo, but they are very similar.
Yep. And
so are they actually one for the Hermes and one for
I haven't confirmed it, but I bet a lot of money on it. Notice how similar they are, but they are yet different. Yeah, they're very similar. Like there's a little bit of yellow here, but there's a lot more yellow here and a lot more yellow back here. Why would they make 2 skins that are so close to each other?
No.
They wouldn't.
So
it's one for one ship and one for the other.
So the question with that is, do we think that they plan to make a Hermes and Apollo paints that are incompatible?
Pete is saying they're both for the Apollo. Are you serious? Wow, that's disgusting. That's utterly disgusting. Wait, hang on. Wait, did I have that up? Yeah, no, wait, I gotta change to the one Pete sent me. So Pete just took a screenshot, he's finished it, and they're both for the Apollo. That's shithouse. That is so bad if that is the case. Why is one for, they're both for the Apollo and they look almost the same?
Yep.
What the fuck?
So in answer to your question, Solo, no.
Pete, go in the game for me right now, Pete, and see if either of those skins will apply to the Hermes. Can you do that for me, please, Pete? Because I've got a feeling one of them has to also work on the Hermes. I know they say Apollo, but can you actually see if they work on the Hermes? Because can you go in game and test that, please, Pete? I don't have them unlocked yet, so I can't do that.
They both apply to what? Deca just said that they both apply.
They both apply to the Apollo. You can see it. Look, Apollo.
Yeah. Do they apply to the Hermes?
Pete's going to go in game and test for us, because that makes no sense. Look how they're so similar. That's basically like adding one extra. Like they've added 2 extra lines. They've removed that yellow line and added those 2 yellow lines. Wow. What the fuck?
Yeah, red and gold versus red.
Yeah. You'd at least invert the colors so it's black and red instead of red and black. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
That's
so. Solo, it does look like at the moment, based on what we've seen, no, they're not making them indistinguishable. They're just making them for the Apollo.
They're making them
Pete
shit.
is going to check it for us.
Yeah.
So while Pete's doing that, we'll move on. Because...
Oh, wait. Parker, we're not complaining that they're free. We're complaining that they're so similar that what's the point? He's saying we're being cringe because we're complaining. We're not complaining that they're free. We didn't say anything about their price. But if you're going to make something, at least make it a little different, because that's not a little different. It's the same. That's like making Algared, and I get a big rubber stamp and say dickhead, and go, oh, cool, it's a different skin, but it's just Algared with dickhead across his forehead. Or doing it to me. It's the same thing. It's just a copy. That's a 5-second job in Photoshop. It's so low effort, it's kind of gross. And I don't care if it's sold or unsold. I'd still be complaining. It's just too similar.
I don't think I'm complaining. I was just answering the question.
Oh, okay. So someone's saying that one's for the medical triage and one for the medevac, one for the triage.
There are all Apollo medical triage and Hermes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Saying.
But
well, we'll find out when Pete comes back, because Pete is actually going and testing it for us, so he'll come back and let us know.
Yeah, but that's going to be really sad.
I think when Pete comes back, he should come into chat and actually say so.
He might do so. We'll see. I'm not going to pressure him.
You know, so I am.
He's
so, he keeps saying he's
so shy,
he keeps
man.
saying he likes me, but
it's not like he's it's not like he's a good streamer. It's not like he's a good streamer. You know, he's very shy. He never talks to anyone. He doesn't stream. No. You know, he can't even show his face. He's that hideous. He's got to look like a dog. So, you know, just
that's harsh.
Completely gutless British guy. You know how they are.
Yeah. Anyway, so Q Solar had another question. More of a statement, though. He says the Valk and Asgard do not share paints. Is this the same for the Apollo and Hermes? And we're testing that out at the moment.
I thought the Valkyrie and Asgard did share paints.
On that question.
No.
They don't.
No, they don't.
Okay.
No.
Take it all back then.
Yep.
But
Steven,
but there have been some that don't. So your point is still valid, just not that particular ship.
Okay.
Yeah. Stephen H9474 says, do you think the Mole salvage will have a cargo bay for stripping parts? So I love it too.
We talked about it on, you know how we're talking about, and I kind of took your idea of the raft along the bottom. After I thought about it during the week, I was like, well, it would just be like the Misfortune. There's no reason to use a tractor beam. It would just automatically deploy it onto that said raft bed, like the Misfortune does. So just take the Misfortune concept, but instead of going off to the side, it's just like a raft bed. But they just
even the raft, you can put components and stuff on the raft bed. Do you need that internal storage to do that, or a cargo bay to do that? It would be nice if it does, or it does have that capability. But I think it would make it too much like the Reclaimer.
I don't think you can in that space. I don't think there's enough space in that ship to pull it off.
Yep.
And look at how big the Reclaimer is to pull it off.
Yeah.
Like it's like half the ship to pull that off.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think it would. I think you'd be making a miniature Reclaimer at that point, and you want what the capital ship or what the top ship can do, different from the ship below it, different from the ship below it. So you want them each to be building and increasing on their capabilities to make them worthwhile. But at the current price, if you can afford, if you've got a Reclaimer, and you're even looking at a ship that's 320 or 350, why aren't you just buying a Reclaimer? Because it's just so much more ship and so much more capability compared to what the smaller variant is.
Yeah.
And just earn down.
Yeah, I forgot there were two Apollos, Luna Maria. You're absolutely correct. But also, those skins are interchangeable. You can take a Medivac skin and put it on the Triage, and a Triage skin and put it on the Medivac. So by that same token, why can't you put it on the Apollo, on the Hermes, and the Hermes on the Apollo? It's just, it's like they're making these rules for them and not for thee, and it's just a bit, it's a bit shit.
Yep.
Someone brought up another point to in chat, Draco 4 EA. It's the same as all the other ones. He just pointed out another ship, the Meteor to the Mantis. Same thing. You can't use the paints on each of those, but like they're so similar, why can't you? You know, it's just that they're making all these arbitrary rules, and it's pissing me off. But whatever. Yeah. I don't get to decide these things. They do. Next one, Algared, if you're ready.
As long as they don't bring out the same skin and sell it as a separate skin, the same design of a skin, and sell it as a different one for the Hermes.
Yep.
That would be
that would piss me off. Because imagine the Disco Lando paint for the Mantis. If they start doing that, that's when we hold them to task, people. As long as the skins are different, no issue. But you make the same skin and it's on different things, and you physically sell it, that's when we've got to hold them to task. It's kind of like the bundling. We should never have given them the bundling stuff, because that's never going to stop now. And once you have a precedence, it's really hard to get rid of it, and it's never going to go away now. And I found another one too, Algared, that annoys me with the bundling. You know when they did and I only learned this because I brought it for one of the giveaways. I think Lemon needed a giveaway for one of the little ship competitions he does on the Discord, and I brought the Dust Devil, and I had a second Dust Devil, but the same thing would apply where if you brought the Dust Devil and the Avian one they had, right? So say I wanted the Avian armor and I wanted the Dust Devil armor. Well, I got 2 copies of the skin for the Intrepid, and I got 2 copies of the gun, right? But all I really wanted was the 2 different armors. So I've now got 2 copies for the ship, and I've got 2 copies of the guns.
But I don't want that.
So bundling gets even worse. So why wasn't there a pack that had both sets of armors with 1 gun and 1 skin?
I don't mind the bundling as long as I can get the parts that are in the bundle and buy them separate.
I've got no.
As long as I can do that, don't care.
And we are all in agreement on that, but they're not doing that. They're not doing it, and that's the problem. Just sell them
because they can charge more.
Yeah, sell them for more for less though. So even if you made it cost $5 more, if you bought them all separately, no one would be complaining.
No, because I can get the bits individually.
Do you know there was a fix I found recently? When you know how they used to, when you added all the ships, they would bundle them together into a package? Stop doing that on the website now. You can actually add all the skins and it doesn't automatically bundle them anymore. It's like they heard my complaints because it was so annoying. I had to put in two purchases and I had to pay twice the PayPal fees to buy things. It was annoying as shit. And they still do that with CCUs. They won't let you buy 5 CCUs of the same CCU. You want to buy one, you got to buy it 5 times and pay PayPal fees 5 times. It's just...
Now, Offset Studios says many people want to buy the bundles each month. I don't think they will push. We're not saying get rid of them. We're just saying make the part... Well, I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm just saying make the individual parts of the bundles available separately. If I don't want all the bits, I can pick up the bits I do want.
And I should correct myself. I have been saying sell them separately, but what I'm saying is we should never have let them only sell them as a bundle. They should have been selling them as separate pieces the whole way along. We need to push and keep pushing. Want this, but I don't want it all. Like, you can sell the bundle, go ahead, but I want just this. And I think everyone would agree they would have made far more money if they'd sold them separately. Because the thing I always hear people say is, I would have brought this, but I only wanted that.
Yeah.
And it's all the way along. Because as soon as you don't want the ship, take any bundle. What's this month's bundle? It's on the Guardian. Let's go into the store. All right, let's just look at that example. Right? Because there's no point. Come on, come up. Where are you? Okay, I'm going to have to open another window. Right, let's go.
Yes, Parker, they will end up as loot. It's true.
It's true.
And they may be difficult loot. They may be easy loot, but yeah.
Yeah. But again, you make a lot of money on volume. And it's one of the things we've been trying to teach them for years. So here's the patch bundle, right? Anytime you want one of these. So for example, I don't want that LMG skin, or I don't want the armor, but I own a Guardian. So I want the Guardian skin, but I don't want the armor. Or the other way around. I want the armor, but I don't want the Guardian skin or the gun skin. You have to pay all this extra money to get something. And again, if you want multiples of it, like I said with the Avian one and the Dust Devil one, I bought those for giveaways, so it's a bit different. The same thing applies. If I wanted to buy the different ones, why do I need 2 skins for my ship? I don't. Why do I need 2 skins for my gun? I don't. But why wasn't it done as one big bundle or two separate bundles? So again, they're not customizing their bundles to their audience, and they're not allowing the audience to pick and choose what they want. And that they're doing that so they raise more. They think they're making more money doing it, but I think they'd make even more money if they didn't. So bundling should be to save money. It should not be to raise more money. They're doing it for themselves and not for us, and that is bad customer service. All the way along, up until you did this bundling, it was putting us first, and we were helping you out by giving you money to support the game. Now, you are ripping us off. And that's where this has all changed, and this is where I disagree with them.
Pete, I can't read your message. I can't see it. Sorry, you need to come into voice and tell us.
I can't see it either. I think
So we'd really love you to come in voice. You know you want to.
You have to come tell people for yourself, Pete. You found this information. It's a hot topic. You're going to have to come in and talk about it. Piss Poor Pete in Discord, waiting for him to come in. We'll see what he says when he comes in. Right.
Just for a minute, Pete. Come on. Prove me wrong.
He
Prove me that you do not hate me.
probably didn't say one sentence and then instantly leave. You watch what happens. All right. Anyway. Go ahead. Next question.
The next question was, hi, Pete.
Oh,
I just checked. Those skins do not equip to the Hermes.
There you go. Thank you, Pete.
You're welcome, fellas, and have a great night.
I'm glad to know that you don't hate
me. He's gone. I told you. It was going to be so quick. He's gone. What's going on? See pictures I'm out.
See, Pete has proved. He's proved that he does not hate me. He's finally come on channel when I'm here.
Yeah. He's just a shy
so
mofo.
Thank you, Pete.
Right.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's very sad. To make an event and they've just kind of like completely bypassed the ship that is kind of really good for the event. I find that very strange.
Well, isn't it? It's a bit like that, the large cargo mission for the event, isn't it? It bypasses the Hermes, but
crazy times. Right.
Indeed. So again, thank you, Pete. Get Good says the latest roadmap update has an image of a comm satellite. Do you think the ship flying by is a new Argo salvager?
Ooh, let's go have a look. What was the end? On the roadmap. Then where are we going?
Roadmap.
Yep.
Then he says there's an image of a comm satellite.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asks, is the ship flying by a Hermes? A Argo salvager?
Characters. Okay. No, wrong one. Patience. That one there. Is that it there?
A comm satellite?
There is a way to open this in color. There we go. I think that's a mole, mate. It's too small to tell.
Yep. It's certainly an Argo ship.
Okay, so
it could be a mole.
So PC 101, who's friends and that with Piss Poor Pete, says that is Rockbreaker, and he is correct. It is actually Rockbreaker. Now he said it, I noticed it. So it is Rockbreaker. So if you go backtrack it to where it says PV Breaker stations, it's not a comm station. It is definitely Breaker. PC one is correct.
And given it's not mining.
It's a mining event. It's a mole. Yep.
It's a mole.
Yep. It's
so that answers that question. So
didn't hurt to check though. Did not hurt to check. Let's while I'm here, let's have a look and see if there's any other cool little pictures. That'll just be a space scene. Yeah, just a space scene. There has been some cool things in here in the past, by the way. Nothing of interest in any of those.
Armors, work in progress, your faces.
Agrid, do you want some new
styles?
You want some new hair, Agrid? Give you some new hair. What do we got here? We got a mullet, mohawk.
No, I'm quite happy being a perfect head.
Yeah, they're pretty. Well, this one's pretty. Well, I'd say that's a very generic, but in a good way. You know, a lot of people do have that generic hair parted type thing, and I guess you do need a standard hair, and that is a very standardized hair.
Yep.
They're all pretty standard, really, other than the mohawk. But it's good to see some different ones coming in. All the merrier.
Normal hairs. Yes. PC 101 said that space scene was in the new ship trailer.
Yes, it was. I agree. can open it anyway if you want to have a look. Here we go.
I love those work in progress scenes. They're really awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next question, please, Mr. Algared.
Arcadian TV.
Yep.
Says, why do you think they did a cargo variant instead of making a cargo modules for the Apollo? It feels like wasted variant in the first place. Why not play to the strengths of modularity? Because they wanted to get as much cargo in there as possible.
Look, at this point, if I say
modules,
me or Algared say anything, they're just going to do the opposite. We'll leave it at that.
Yep. Yeah, Grimm's already pointed
They're not
out.
going to make a Apollo Phoenix. They're not going to. they're not going to make a battle cruiser, which means they will make a battle cruiser. Like, I can say all these things and they'll just do the opposite. So yeah, it's just stupid.
Yep. Yeah, look, I think it's a missed opportunity, but if you have those where those first aid bays are in the Apollo, you make them into the cargo bays, you reduce the cargo capacity. You take everything out, you increase the cargo capacity. It's simple.
Well, I'd also sit there and argue, Algared, what were the cargo rooms on the Apollo? They're still fairly bulky on this thing. You know, there's a bit of room behind them. So I almost think that they could have moved them back and had a bit more space. So
yeah, could they have made a little bit more room?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. So I actually think they probably could have made a bit more room. Yeah.
Jason Giles 7897 says, could the new salvage be a Grey's Market mole put together ship? No, because it's got Argo emblazoned on the side in the sneak peek room. So
to that point though, and I will say, I'll just ask you really quickly, I don't want this 20-30 minute conversation, but much like the Golem got a variant, I wouldn't rule out the Salvation having a variant.
No.
And when someone talked about a medical variant, seriously, don't rule that out. Like, it really could be a thing. How can you take the Salvation name and put it in another ship? Well, a medical variant works really well, and we do have the Nursa from RSI, and RSI being a really, really old manufacturer. Now, I wouldn't say it's a likelihood, but I could see us. So you take the idea off the Apollo of the Shepherd's drone, an RSI Shepherd's drone. You see where I'm going here, right? You make it literally, all it does is have a Shepherd's drone, and it goes down and recovers a singular person. I can see that as a Salvation ship. You are literally rescuing them. See where I'm going with this? And I think that would work. It's a little snub ship that you can send out. Also, it would work really well with the Galaxy, would it not? So it doesn't do any medical stuff itself. All it is literally like a human recovery vehicle.
Yep.
I can totally see that.
A human recovery vehicle that puts you into a cryopod.
Well, yeah, if you want to go that far, yeah, absolutely. But my point still stands. It doesn't do any medical stuff. It literally is just recovering you, because obviously a Salvation is so much smaller than a Galaxy. It can get in there to grab you, but you can't put a Cutlass Red in the back of a Galaxy. But you can put a Salvation. You get where I'm going here, right? So there is a need for it, but it obviously is not going to have a medical bed or anything like that. And again, you know, that back area where all the SCU is, that would fit a Shepherd drone, and it's about the same size as a person. It's 6 SCU.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. Just saying.
Could they do it? Yes. Can they do it? Maybe. Will they do it? Enough rope to hang yourself.
Yeah, that might be the name of it there too. Typhon Phoenix says Salvation Minivac. Absolutely. I could see that. Salvation Minivac. Absolutely. Yeah. The Pisces, though, the Pisces is a little different because it actually does the medical stuff, right? And it's not really designed for recovering people because it doesn't have the drone-like behavior, right? So if it literally has a drone and it recovers people, it makes sense. It actually would work. And it's only because it's got that drone ability. No other medical ship besides the Apollo was meant to have that. And again, we don't have drones in yet. So again, look forward to, you know, after base building comes in and drones are working, that would be the very next drone in the lineup. Just saying, all right, keep it in the back of your head. See if we've got Golem variants. Why wouldn't there be Salvation variants? You know, like, and I'd ask that to you guys. Can you see another variant of the Salvation beyond what I've just said with medical? And see if you can make it work. I think you'll be surprised. You can start to see, like, look at that area with 6 SCU. What can it turn into? What can you use it for?
Now, the opinion of Matt does make a comment on the Salvation that I do like. He says the Salvation has proprietary salvage heads. I would like to see the Salvation be able to do ship repair. I still wouldn't want one.
That works as well.
Make the ship much better.
That actually works as well. The Salvation is a repair ship. I can see that.
Because it then is literally salvation. You're dead in the water. It comes along, does some repair, and
you literally just take the cargo out of the back of the Salvation and you put it into the Salvation repair, and it's just pushing it back the other way.
Yep.
It works itself. And again, if you can just land them on the ground and quickly transfer them, or even transfer it in space.
Yep.
And you could possibly fit 2 of these in the back of a Galaxy, like they'll physically fit. Just saying.
Or even if you just switched a switch and it went from scraping to painting.
I think that's too much. I think that's too much for a start.
Too much, but
here's another one. The Galaxy has the refinery module on it, so you could take the refined material, put it straight under this, and start repairing straight away.
Yep.
So yeah, it works on both of those.
Enough rope to hang yourselves, but yes, I'd like to see that type of capability on the Salvation too. It would make the name make sense.
And also, if you had the other variants, you could essentially use this ship as a small snub ship to repair said Galaxy when it's in trouble. So even if you're using a cargo variant, it works. Yeah, really good call. Whoever said that, I don't know if you, because you're salvationing, you're saving the ship you're repairing. So it's a salvation repair. That works really well. What would you call it? An RR? If it was got a CL clipper, would you call it an RR or an? What would the acronym be for repair? I guess you just call it repair. Salvation repair. Salvation medevac. Salvation salvage. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, good call. I can see both those. In all honesty, medical and a repair. And you need maybe about 2 variants. So yeah, I think you're onto something there. Yep. Good call. All right, next question.
Stephen H9474, do you think ships with tractors should have a mode that locks cargo into position to easily load them through doors? It would be slower, but it would be a nice quality of life improvement.
All right, I don't kind of visualize the question. Hang on. Do you think ships with tractors should have a mode that locks cargo into position so it doesn't move up and down? I get what he's trying to say. No, it's actually really easy to load because all you do is just kind of get it to the right height and you just press the button and just don't move the mouse. It's really easy. I don't think it does. It might be different for flight sticks because flight sticks, you let them go and they reset. But when you're using the mouse, you just take your hand off the mouse. You don't need to have your hand on the mouse and it just slides backwards. Also, I was moving them. I'd start pressing the S button as soon as I picked them up and I'd start tilting them up while it was going back. So I got really proficient at it. So actually, I'm going to be honest, I prefer it how it is now because I get player choice. I think it would be nice to have an option if you were using a joystick. Why not have both?
I think it comes down to that idea of becoming proficient at a job.
Yeah.
Like we don't have levels like other games in Star Citizen. It's as you do a task, you physically become better at doing that task in game. Like not your character stats, but you, the person, become better at doing that task, and that's how you level up.
But by the same token, it doesn't hurt to just have multiple control options. So it would just be having a tractor beam lock button, that's 1 extra button. Do it. Why not?
Yep.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Is a Warren she? It's a Warren she. How does the Aurora Mark II, being a stripped down Mantis? What about the Aurora Mark II being a stripped down Mantis media variant?
It's literally in the name. It says Aurora.
It's Aurora,
right? So if you wanted to make a variant of the Aurora Mark II, you're talking about making it like an Aurora MT or something like that. And I think, Algared, you'd probably agree with me. Let's look at the Hornet series. They directly took every single Hornet and made a Mark II. So the only Mark IIs I would probably... They can break this. They can totally break it. Yep. But the precedence right now is LN, CL, ES, LX, ES, right? They're all of them. So I don't think you're going to see new variants. You're just going to see upgrades of the previous ones.
Yep.
But
And I don't think
CIG
you're gonna
love breaking their own rules, so go to town.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a Mark II that's stripped down mantis or meteor.
Yeah.
What you're going to see is, like they did with the Hornets. You'll see it have very strong. I hope it's got very strong links to the design language of the Aurora. Just like we see with the Mini Cooper, you can see the links to the modern Mini Coopers, the modern Minis, but they're totally different in that sense. And I think we'll see the same type of thing. Yes, Aurora Borealis. That is, mine's Aurora Australis is the name of my Aurora.
Algared, I know you're a bit of a boomer, so you're probably not up with it. But do you know who Amelia is? I'm expecting you to say no, by the way.
No. There you go.
Anyone that knows Amelia, I think we need an Australian variant, and we'll call her Aurora. I reckon. Anyone in chat know what I'm talking about? Just tell me, and you're Australian. Do you reckon if Aurora would be a good version of Amelia? Anyway, right. I'll tell you about it later, rather than going into a lengthy conversation. Right. Next question.
Oh no.
Yep.
About the battle cruiser, how much will it be? Lots. More than a destroyer, more than a Jav.
I'd be walking.
Any chance they can give Chairman's Club backers for 2,000 or 25,000 backers exclusive preview wave?
I think you'd have to walk in expecting $5,000. I think that anyone that had, I wouldn't say concierge, I would say people that own javelins, because they were really sold under the concept of javelin will be the biggest ship you can buy in game, and they're now clearly more than likely going to break that promise. Those people should be offered an option to upgrade from their javelin to the battle cruiser, and only those people, because I think that it'd just be a nice thing to do to kind of softly apologize, because you are breaking a promise. You literally said it'll be the biggest ship you can ever buy in game. Yes, that was back in 2014, but as an apology, you should also offer those people at any time they so choose, until the game comes out, an upgrade to CC you up to a battle cruiser.
Yeah,
I think that's only fair.
Yeah, I get to that. Now, if as GQ says Amelia Earhart. Now, if that's who you're referring to, yes, I do know Amelia, but I didn't think that was who you're referring to.
Amelia is a British person. You'd have to check it out on Twitter if you want to know more about it. She has kind of exploded since the start of the month. Yeah. She has just gone global. But if you haven't heard about it,
because I don't follow,
you don't go on Twitter. But yeah, they now have multiple versions. So they have like a German one. We don't have an Australian one, so I think we need an Australian one. But anyway, I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah.
No, she's not real. She's not a real person. She's a made up person. Yep. But anyway, go ahead. Agree. Next question.
Sorry, my contact lenses are starting to dry out under these lights.
Right, we've got about 15, 20 minutes left, so you're all good.
Christy N. Bryan said, Christian Bryan say 4813 say, do you feel like CIG is trying to sweep modularity under the rug in favour of more variants for more profit? Probably yes. Hopefully, they will eventually forget about modularity. Hoping we'll eventually forget about modularity. Yes and no. For ships they've sold modules to, they have to fulfill that thing. They've sold them. They've got to maintain it and do it. But do they prefer variants to modules? Yes, because they can sell the ship for more.
I think eventually, though, there will be some things like, I would hope the Atlas eventually, as an example, in-game becomes modular. Because it just doesn't make any sense to have an Atlas, a Geo, and whatever the Salvation variant ends up becoming, because there is a Salvation variant in the image that sits in one. Why would you do that when you can have one suit and just change the hand and change the backpack? And if you get in game with the Geo, you can actually shoot the tractor beam on it, but it won't come off. It's like it's locked on, which kind of implies that there is a functionality to remove it at some point. So the point being is you can sell them as separate variants and make more money. Realistically, then when the game comes out, they go, oh, by the way, it's actually a modular. You own 3 variants of it, but really, you actually just own 1 variant now. Yeah. Because they were trying to raise money. And if you look at it from a gameplay perspective, yes, it is better to have one, but from a monetary perspective, they needed money. So the people that brought it are going to be a bit annoyed. But once you get in game and start using it, you're going to kind of go, oh, actually, I'm kind of glad that it is one, because it would have been really sucky to go back and change this all the time. So even those people will be a bit pissed off, all of a sudden start to realize they would have preferred it that way anyway. So again, like I've said to you before, don't buy a lot of variants, just tend to buy one. And if you do that, I'm not a big fan of where things have gone. I'm seeing a lot of very slippery slopes. I'm not a fan of all these variants. Why I'm really against them, because you can take it either way and you don't know where you're going to get burned. There is multiple videos we've done on this, but one that me and See the Six did, and I think we did an update a while ago, is buyer's remorse. That we've been seeing it coming for a really long time, that when this game finally comes out and everything clicks into place, there's going to be a great number of people. Why are you smiling when I talk about people being pissed off? What's someone saying, Joe?
Because I'm reading chat. Chat.
Right.
So, Crystal Brian said, spelled the name, and then Luna Maria said, it took me 6 months to stop calling her by the wrong name. So, that just made me smile. So, yeah.
It's a cat fight in chat. Let's go. Yeah.
No, I wasn't a cat fight. I was just
the two ladies. There's only two ladies in chat, and they're arguing. Like, it's just...
No, they weren't arguing. They weren't arguing at all. They were.
I'm teasing.
I was being
ladies.
corrected on my pronunciation, and then Luna Maria was having a having a dig at me as well.
If you want to see it, Dom4419 says salvaging ATLS. Go into Astro Armada, and on the wall there, that picture has been there since like 2020. And it is literally the ATLS salvaging. It's got an EVA backpack, and it is clearly salvaging. So they've designed essentially different backpacks, and they're basically just making different combos and selling them. Because, for example, why wouldn't you want to take the Geo jump pack and put it on a cargo? Well, you would, because then you can jump and load the cargo. Why wouldn't you want an EVA one so you can EVA the cargo across? They all work, so you can build a combo of what you want your Atlas to be, and then go use it. And I think, if anything, you know how John Crew turned around and said, we'd make it a drone for when you and I were talking to him. I think he's a lying little shit. I think it's going to be a salvage cutter. An Atlas cutter. I think that's what it's going to be. Yep. I think you tried to misconstrue this, and I'm not believing you, John. You know, I'll get you next time, Gadget. Or I need a line every time John Crew tries to mislead me. I'll come up with something, don't worry. I'm not believing you, Ginger Ninja, or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Harsh.
That's a bit fair. He deserves it.
Needley says, they said Aegis has a ship in the pipeline. I think it's a Vulcan. Now it can repair, is in, and refining is there. All it needs is drones. Sorry, that was hard to read. That
might have been done in another language or translated, so don't do the same too much.
No, it's hard to read because my eyes get blurring out on me.
I can't literally sit here and tell you what it is, but I think the Vulcan is too advanced. Because it's got to go out and repair and refuel and all that. But I would say the salvation, or the drone for the Apollo, if it was coming, would come before that. That would be the step after that. But again, if it comes out, wouldn't rule it out, man. But my brain tends to go to, we do have other starters in the pipeline, like the Aurora Mark II, but we don't have a starter in front of the Avenger or Aegis either. So I could see a more budget Avenger type of thing for Aegis. And I think they're not going like that. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's small and it's easy to knock off. And we tend to see more original ships based around that. But you're right, it has been a very long time since we've got an original. Like, we obviously got all the Saber Raven variants, but we haven't got an. I'm trying to think the last time we got an original Aegis, and it has been a pretty long time. So I hope it is something new. If it's the Vulcan, awesome. Not going to complain.
If it's a Vulcan, great.
Just don't quite see it yet, because it's just a small disconnect there. And it's mainly around the AI stuff. It is pretty easy to go from ship to ship. It is technically A to B. But the part that's missing with the Vulcan drones is you control them as a human.
Yeah.
They're essentially, it's crossing the tech of a snub ship with a remote turret. And then on top of that, it's got to then have a tool like a hand repair tool to repair. And then it's also got to have the refueling option, the re-armor. You know, we don't have re-arming of ammo yet in game either. So that part's also missing. So there's 2 disconnects there. So it's literally a little bit further down the line. Because obviously flying out with it, like if I just click the button and the Shepherd drone just flies there, instantly picks up the body and brings the body back, that's an A to B. That's the same as the base building, right? But if I actually had it so I go into the drone and I fly the drone and then I pick up the body, that is the step after that before you get to the Vulcan. So you can clearly see the steps required there. I think it's just a little bit too far along. But again, they have been speeding up development over the last 12 months, and I'm sure it's going to pick up again this year. Looks like there's a lot of new gameplay things coming, so I cannot 100% rule it out. I think I would push that towards the end of the year, in the last third. Do you kind of agree with that?
If they're going to do it, that'd be where I think they put it.
You'd have to get base building in before that at the very least. I think you and I would agree on that, yeah? Base building before Vulcan?
Drones type stuff,
yeah.
First time chat in Twitch, Santos. I just want my my merchantman. Yep, so do I.
Go down to the local store, man, and you can pick up some M&Ms every time. They just sell them there. I like the peanut ones. The rice ones aren't bad either, but yeah, you do you, man.
I like the green personally, but yeah.
The green ones? What, the mix? Is that the mix
ones?
Is that the mix bag where you get all of them in one bag? The green one?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
I didn't know anybody ate peanut M&Ms.
I love peanut M&Ms. They are delicious. They are the most. In fact, in Australia, they are the most popular variant. And it actually goes. I'd have to check it up. But the last time I looked it up was years ago. It went peanut, then the rice ones, and then the plain ones. Because here in Australia, they also sell Smarties, and Smarties are basically the same, but they're cheaper. So there's all
better than M&Ms.
Yeah. So Smarties taste better than M&Ms, but they don't make Smarties with peanuts and rice. So that's why the people buy M&Ms, because it's got the different flavor. Why would you just buy regular M&Ms when you can buy Smarties? So, yeah.
Which are better.
That's interesting because Smarties here are something completely different. They're
well,
like
have you ever tried Coca-Cola? When was the last time you drank Coca-Cola?
I don't know. Yesterday?
You've never drunk Coca-Cola, my friend. I'm sorry. You've never drunk it. You need to go down to Mexico. Or you need to. I actually found out the other day in America. No. If you go to New York or LA, where there's a lot of Jewish people, they sell Coca-Cola with a yellow top. You ever seen the one with the yellow top? In America? Have you ever seen that?
My wife is Jewish.
Oh, so then you have had real Coca-Cola. I take it all back. You slipped through the cracks, my friend. But most Americans have never tried real Coca-Cola. Because it's made out of corn syrup and not made out of sugarcane. And so you Americans have just a completely bastardized version. It's disgusting. I've tried it. It's nowhere near like what we've got, Algared. It's bad.
And it tastes like Pepsi?
No, it doesn't even taste like Pepsi. It just doesn't have sugar in it. Like, to save a few cents per bottle, which works out to millions across when they make all of them, they use corn syrup because it's cheaper in America to buy corn syrup than sugar. But the quality of the drink drops so much that if you were an American and knew both of them existed, and clearly Lemming knows both of them exists. Well, you speak on it, Lemming. You've obviously drunk both of them.
Well, they have real sugar. I know they have real sugar Pepsi. I think they have real sugar Coke that's available here.
Yeah, don't buy the corn syrup one. It's
my comment was that Pepsi tastes like crap. So.
Yeah, I got you.
Everyone's got different taste palettes, so just drink what you like, you know.
Now I like GQ Ub's comment in Twitch. He's talking about the Vulcan, and you'll see where he goes. We are releasing the Vulcan with external repair beams temporarily in place of the drones. We have less space for the drones and may add them at a future date if it fits with gameplay.
Oh God, I don't like that.
Yeah. That'd be funny as fuck. But no, come on, let's be serious. Like, I don't think we'll accept that.
Basically, the replacement of Shepherd drones type idea. I did like it. I thought that was.
Just real quick.
They could do that. Yes.
There's lots of people talking about Coca-Cola and Pepsi and stuff in chat, and there are all these different versions. I do want to explain what I was saying about the yellow caps. The ones with yellow caps in the USA are kosher ones that the Jewish people can drink. So if you can find the yellow caps, people are also saying there are white cans in the USA now instead of red cans, and they're the ones that have real sugar. So yeah, try if you get a chance as an American, try both. You'll never go back to the normal one. It's
You mean the cane sugar version?
Corn
syrups version.
The news must have got out so much now that Coca are actually trying to go back to sell sugar ones. It must have got out because I've seen so many YouTube videos over the year, people going down to Mexico and buying them. Someone was talking about Costco now imports them from Mexico to sell. There's clearly people want the normal sugar version. Just sell two variants of it and have, if you want the budget one and you like the corn syrup, have the corn syrup. But yeah, like
personally, you can't go past a good Bundy ginger beer.
I was just going to say H2O. It's pretty healthy.
Yeah, well, H2O is good, but Bundy ginger beer, that's also a great one made with sugar cane and stuff. But yes. Anyway,
next question. Yep.
Needleys. No, we've done that one. Just checking that we've done that. We've done that one. That was a re-asked question. Parker says, what ground vehicles seem the most likely? Perhaps a salvage rock.
I'm going to be brave here, and I'm going to say that the rock is a good platform. I think that it's underutilized.
I can definitely see them doing another like a grey cat salvage or something like that. What would you call it?
The excavator.
Sock?
Would it be like a rock SL?
No, it would be a sock.
No, because the rock is the ship and the DS is the function. So is it, well...
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, because there is also the rock before you get to the rock DS. You're right. Well, it depends which one they use, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like it to be a rock, so just make it like, a sock. Yeah, a sock works. Grey cat sock. That's at least more memorable than the MCF, fuck these acronyms. God, I'm sick of these acronyms. Yeah, DS stands for dual seat, so it'll be a sock DS, wouldn't it? You are correct, Pistol Pete. So yeah, it'll
be a sock pair.
What does ROC stand? What does ROC stand for again?
It's remote operator something, I think. I'll look it up.
Operator control or something like that. I don't know.
Well, there can't be remote operator controlled. Because it would have to be. No, that makes sense. Remote or collector. There you go. Remote or collector. Yeah. So it would be. Yeah, that's it. It would be. It's not remote though. That's the other thing. It's not remote. It's literally in the vehicle. The R doesn't work. You'd want it to be something that the acronym needs to match it, right? So instead of saying ROC, you'd want it to be something like SAL, like salvage, right? And the acronym, because that's the problem. They started out making acronyms that meant things like mole, right? And it was the word, not the acronym that made it. Now, though, they've gone on to acronyms that make sense, but the word doesn't make sense. So that's where the problems lie. Because now we've got things like the MFC and the MTC. It just does not work, right?
No. So I think next month when the salvage thing comes out, we'll know if they completely abandoned the fun little word like mole. Because, I mean, like there's a raft. A raft makes sense. Mole makes sense. So if, they name the salvage thing something that's a word, then we'll know that there's still hope.
Yeah. Well, again, that's why I went with vol. But how do you change vol from... as Pistol Pete put there, it's multiple operator laser extractor. How do you, again, you just reword that to vol, vehicle operator laser extractor, because you're cutting up vehicles? Works for me.
Yeah.
You know, vehicle operator laser extractor. You can just use the same name, but change it from multi-operator, so it's vehicle operated instead of operator. Vehicle operated laser extractor or something like that. It doesn't really matter. It's really, I think it was you want to have cool acronym names, not acronyms, right? That's what they've lost. So things like the MFC and the MTC, they just don't work because they're just word salad. It should have been things like the Grey Cat Mad and the Grey Cat, you know, like they should have been 3-letter little cool words, you know. Come go, hey, I'm in the Mad, or I'm in the Fab, you know, the Grey Cat Fab is what I would have called that, you know. And then what's the other one? The turret one, Grey Cat PDC. Just call it that, and then it makes sense because you instantly know what it is. Oh, it's a Grey Cat with a freaking PDC on it. Problem solved. Yep. You don't need all these fancy fucking names. Like, just word salad. And I hope they go back and retro kind of a lot of retro. If I'm having issues with it, right, and I'm someone, Algared, you tell me, do you have the same issues, or am I being crazy here?
No, look, with a lot of those names, I get confused. I just say, yeah, look, are you talking about the Grey Cat with the AA turret, or the PDC, or the missiles,
So if you and I have been doing this for like almost 15 years, what is the new person going to be like? Right? It's just, come on, guys. Like, it's like those, the new mining missions that have come in for the cave mining, the hand mining and the ship mining. I was going through them as a new player, and I have to admit, the ship ones got better, but the hand mining ones got worse. And then they got better. But you've got to put I'm a new dumb player hat on and play through those missions to make sense. Oh my God, the person I had set up to raid has literally just finished streaming. That is very annoying. Now I'm going to find someone else.
All right. So Project Gnome 1961 says,
I'll send you a DM.
Please.
Sorry?
It's all right. Keep going, Algared.
Project Gnome says, do you think crafting is coming with the Invictus patch? Since the Assault also has a crafter. So it would be 2 new ships releasing without their designed gameplay.
What was the other ship? I heard the question, but I missed it.
I'm not sure.
I'll read it again.
So he said, what ship?
Don't read it. I'll read it. No, because literally it's just a vehicle fabricator like in the Clipper, but in the Assault. It does not need a big fabricator in it. Think about all the size 1 components that are making. The components for vehicles are even smaller than a size 1. They're a step down from the Clipper.
Yep.
That's all that is. It's hand repair and making some small vehicle components for the vehicles. That's all it is. You cannot, like, it's so small that if you put a ship in there, you probably cannot make components for ships. Right? It's just for vehicles.
Unless they're taking size 1,
Well, if that's if the fabricator can even make size 1 components. If they make it for size 0, which is what vehicles are, it doesn't work.
True. I would expect when it comes out and they're doing size 0 components, which are the vehicle components, I would expect the Clipper, because it can make the size 1, to also be able to make the size 0.
Agreed.
So the bigger one can make the smaller things, but the smaller one can't make the bigger things.
Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agree with you on that. Project Gnome says question. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep. Ono says, how much should we prepare for the battlecruiser sale in May?
5,000. We said that earlier.
I don't think you can, and I also wouldn't be surprised if it's just a blueprint.
Again, yes, we've talked about the blueprint, but if you were realistically wanting to be 100% prepared for that battlecruiser, I would have $5,000.
Yep.
And I don't. They're saying he did say prepare. $5,000.
Yeah, if you want it, and that's insane.
And you may pay less than that, but if you wanted to be ultimately prepared, I would have $5,000. Yep,
that's insane.
It is insane, but you're still going to buy one because you're insane. Algared, you have 3 javelins. Are you trying to tell me you're not going to convert one of your javelins into a battlecruiser?
No, I might convert 2 into a battlecruiser.
My point is noted. He's a crazy person. Right. Next one, please.
Ono has another question. When do you think they'll put bladed turrets or AI crew in?
AI has to kind of come at the end because you want to have everything functioning in place and they don't want to be going backwards and forwards doing bits of AI. Yeah. If AI comes in, it will be in selected areas like drones because it's in a refined area. As soon as you have, like if you made NPCs and you wanted to bring it in pieces, you'd have to get a mining NPC. And all that NPC can do is mining. And then they expand that to medical and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? AI can either come in pieces or it all comes in right at the very end. And again, you have to have everything underneath what that AI is going to do rock solid and not really going to change. So if you've got all the mining in and it's never ever going to change, then you can do a mining NPC. But by the same token, here's the other part. We know there's going to be surface mining and underground mining. And then there's going to be the complete asteroid collapsing mining. So you can make it go down to another layer. Do you have a surface level mining NPC? And then it's all of a sudden it does surface and underground, and then does it do all three? You see what I mean? So it's where they want to bring it in at.
They're really good at doing that.
Yeah,
but hopeless on the
because the other part of that is, do you want to have to sit there and explain to everyone that this NPC only works for surface mining, or do you want to wait so they can make it so it does all of mining? It's the degrees of separation and think about all the front end stuff you've got to do to present that to the player. So do you wait till it's all in and just present it all in one go, or do you do it all the way along, but then you've got all this front-facing work that you've got to pay off in tech debt?
Yeah.
Art and horse and nice to haves, but not always going to eventuate. And we are moving into the era now where we're going to be much more of a front-facing game because we're moving towards release of Squadron and 1.0 of Star Citizen, and that means we're going to get no more concept sales. They're going to try to remove as much jank as possible. I think you're going to see the more detailed AI and a lot less stepping, because we're prepared to put up with the stepping, but the casuals that are about to walk in, they're not going to put up with that shit.
Yeah. And with bladed turrets, my understanding was it was only the remote turrets that you'd be able to blade, because the others need actual space for a human. I could have it wrong, but that was my understanding. Only remote turrets could get bladed and become automatic, but
it's going to be all.
But
it was confirmed. I'll show you later.
Yeah. He's right.
That's how I understood it, but yeah.
I think it was that way initially, but then they clarified it some.
Mm-hmm. Which does mean if you blade a man turret, you actually create a access point to your ship as well.
Mm.
So when you blow up the turret. Anyway, but that neither here nor there. Piss poor point. How close?
Did you say piss poor pint? Did you say piss poor pint?
No, piss poor Pete.
That's his That's his younger brother. This is alter ego.
Piss poor Pete. How close to the original pitch will the electro hull Aurora paint be on? And dang it, it moved.
He's talking about the electro hull paint, and the reason he's bringing this up is
on the initial release.
Because we talked about this a lot, because it's so vague.
Isn't
that
it in
description.
The patch?
It's meant to be, but I don't have it, and I've got it in my hangar. Or it's not working right now. And one of the things me and Pete talked about, and if you read I did send it to you, Algared. Hang on, I'll go back through. So I send things to Algared to talk about on stream, and I did. Sure, I sent it to you at some point.
I think they showed it.
Stop.
In the Star.
Stop. The electro skin hull enhancement for existing Robert Space Industries ship owners can switch hull appearance at the flick of a switch. Includes special skin to show that you've backed twice. So you read through that all, right? And it can be taken in multiple different ways at every single point. So it says for existing Robert Space Industries ship owners. So does that mean people on the RSI website that own a ship, or is that people that only own an RSI ship? And it says existing. So does that mean it only is given to people that are there now and not people later? Well, they've already stated that it's going to be sold later on this year so people can buy it. So that's clearly everyone. So you start to look through it. If it's not only going to work on the Aurora, it has to work on the Connie, because that was the other RSI ship sold at that time, right? But RSI people took it to mean every ship in the game, because it was existing RSI ship owners. It says RSI ship owner. It says Robert Space Industry ship owners. It's the RSI website. So they took it to mean every single ship. Then you read the next line and it says, can switch hull appearance at the flick of a switch, full stop. Well, that means I can take it. So what they're implying is it can look like the electrohull skin and turn into something else. But if you read that sentence, it can mean I can have any skin in the game and make it look like another skin.
Yeah, I could put I could designate two skins and switch between them.
Yeah.
Now,
and then that last part is it also comes with a skin, which is the blue one. So I'm thinking at the moment, it doesn't work as an electrohull skin. It's just the blue skin.
Yep. And I think originally when it came out, it was people understood it as every ship that is currently in game because so many people bought that skin expecting it to be for be able to be used on a Cutlass or a Avenger or whatever.
So I don't know how they're going to do that in the end, Algared, but I think you'd have to assume that that's some kind of module or subcomponent that allows you to flick skins.
Yep, I would have to think it's a module. And
so,
it's going to take up computer space to be able to do it.
Yeah. So I'll put this in chat so you can read it for yourselves because it is a bit of word salad just to listen to me rant. So please just read that for yourself and you can see very quickly it can be interpreted multiple different ways all the way along. But the way I interpret that is what we're getting right now is just the skin that's at the end, but they are going to come back and make it so it either works for the RSI Aurora and it works for the Connie. But I think we hold them to task because you can take that anyway, and I reckon it should be every ship in the game, and I reckon it should be able to flick between any two skins because you've made it so vague that you need to sell what people thought it was. And if they thought it was the most extreme thing, then you should have put more words in your paragraphs to make it make more sense. And heaps of people brought it, taking it that way. I know people that brought it just for the Connie. I know people that brought it just for the Cutlass. I know people that just brought it for smuggling so they could flick between two skins. So any way anyone took it because you were too vague with your wordage, that's on you. That's not on them. You should have detailed your shit out. And I'm how do I put this? I don't like to hold them to task on something that's for a smaller number of people because let's be honest, that is a much older skin. But if you come out and you sell this skin again to everyone, then you should make it that.
Now here's another question based on that. What does back twice mean? Does it mean you bought 2 packs? Does it mean you bought a pack and then bought another ship? Or skin?
It was designed for people that bought 2 packages. That was what was originally for, and then they opened it up to anyone to buy for $5. And then when people read that verbiage and went, holy shit, Batman, they
went.
You could only buy one too. Then I don't think you could buy models back then, but they but everyone bought one. It was the most popular one. The only other really rare one was the "Shut Up and Take My Money" one, and that skin is in game now. It's essentially. Actually, I can bring up that image that I sent you, Algared. Hold on, so we can actually go through them because some of these were not exactly lined up with. We got a few of them wrong, but it's that green one there with the yellow stripes. That is the "Shut Up and Take My Money," and it's when you get in game, it's got all these little money things on it. But yeah, you can kind of see there. Yeah, it says the shock blue livery and the electric livery. That implies to me that they're the 2 skins you can switch between. That's their intent. They have not made it as it was described. You can make it so it looks like it's electrified or it's not electrified. That's what they're going for. And that's what set me off because that is not what you can read out of that description.
That's not what I saw.
You could read that as the description, but that's not what it as we took it.
No, it was basically a thing so you could spoof, basically false colors.
Yeah.
That's almost literally what it was.
And the reason they've done it this way is it's fuckloads less work.
Yeah, I can see that.
You cannot deliver. You should have worded it like that in your thing, and you didn't word it like that. You left it so vague that people they just went to the races with it, and that's on you. You need to describe things properly.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've got right now in game. I've got all of these except the shock ones. They're just not appearing. And yet, if I go into my hangar, you can see that I've got it. But I've got all the others. I'm going to be honest. The most unique one is probably the PAX one because it's just a bit random colors all over the place. But the other one I do like is the pitchfork one. That's really nice. This Dread Pirate one, I don't have that, and I don't know where it comes from. I have a pirate skin, but it's not that one. It's kind of strange. It's
the Dread Pirate Robert skin.
Yeah. So there's some that come and there's some that don't. So yeah, I don't know.
The Princess Bride skin. Yeah.
Last
question.
You'll have that white one too, Algared, because that's the record breaker. So you should at least have that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
The last question from Caveman Crafting says, didn't all of the base building ground vehicles they showed in 2 Citizens ago all use drones when doing their base building?
Yes.
And I think they did.
They did. There's pictures of them essentially hovering with a beam from one to the other.
Yep.
And if you kind of think of it...
The difference...
Go ahead.
Sorry, the difference with their drones is they were automated. Once you pick the location you're building, the drone just went backwards and forwards to build, as opposed to a remote drone which you actually control and
we've kind of already got that tech in game. Remember those repair stations we used to have in the back in the day, and the drones would fly in and they'd kind of shoot a laser at you and it would just repair? Exactly the same.
That's exactly
They're going to just shoot a beam at the building. The building's going to have an animation of the texture kind of untransparenting itself going up. It'll have some kind of glow around the edge as it goes up. That's all you need.
And the drone will go backwards and forwards if it needs to get more stock.
That's it. It'll literally just sit there, drain itself, have a number going down in the code, and then it'll literally go back, fill up again, come back. And again, it's A to B, A to B, A to B. You're literally going between 2 fixed points and a flying animation while you're flying around.
But that's different from the Vulcan's drones, which are remote drones, which you pilot to the positions you need and do all the other stuff. And that's the big difference between drones and drones.
That's it. Yeah.
And that was our last question.
So Lemmy has requested that we raid Bite Size Hobbit. Now, from who I remember, Bite Size Hobbit is the wife of Skagelian? I'm butchering the name.
Girlfriend.
Close enough. Everyone say wife,
girlfriend of
and
Skagelian.
He'll have to propose. The question is, when are you two getting married? That's the question. That is the question.
Married.
And say from Lemming, just to really rub it in, because it's Lemming's fault. Yeah. We want to know when you two are getting married. Another Lemming.
And hopefully it's not awkward.
No. You want it to be awkward, because guess what? Awkward is funny. Right? No. As a former comedian, awkward is funny. Trust me. Awkward is funny. Right. So we're getting a raid ready for that. I will switch us over to this one. Hang on, I'm going to open it. I'm going to mute it. It's still muted. All right. Oh, they're in the Caterpillar Emerald, I believe that one is. No, that would be the Spooktacular one, actually, not the Emerald. All right. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll do an episode on the Hermes. We've also got the tier list episode to do as well. I don't know what order I'm going to bring that up. Probably Hermes first. That makes the most sense.
Well, if the tier list comes a live episode, then that'll be next.
Yep. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it random. Keep you on your toes. We'll see. All right. With that, then, Twitch say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube say goodbye to Twitch. We were listening for you to ask about marriage questions.
Bye, Twitch.
Bye, Twitch. Have a great week. Bye. Right now, we talk about them behind their back, and we'll have a listen in. Right, here we go.
Good luck to Rohan. I'm being rated. Right. Inforunners 69. Nice.
So when is the wedding?
Welcome in. We are we're doing a cargo run while we wait for our Idris to show up. When is the wedding? Whose?
That's 2 hours.
Ow! Listen. No ring, no wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
No money, no ring. No money, no ring. No boat, no ring.
Now I'm gonna mess.
No ring. Inforunners. No boat, no ring.
What's it called back in the day? You need like
a dowry. I have to give Say a dowry of a sailboat.
You need a sailboat in there, some coating.
He said if he gets a sailboat,
all right, I'm gonna run.
All right, see you, Lemming.
Thank you.
Bye, you too.
A Sicilian oven, pizza oven.
A pizza oven, God,
the boat.
the requirements.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you for the raid.
You're most
How
welcome.
is everyone?
Thank
All
you
right.
for the raid. Now
She-
bugger off
yeah,
and leave
yeah,
me alone.
yeah,
and
she-
let me,
yeah, yeah,
let me
she's
get
all-
back to my gaming.
She's gone red. All right, then. We'll love them and leave them. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I think we run an extra mail on Patreon at the end of the video. I think that's everything, Aaron. Anything you want to add?
No, apart from let's execute. And we're out of here.
He's Algared. I had things to say, but I was asking you if you had things
I'm
to say,
sorry,
and then you
I'm
cut me
sorry.
off. You are a rude son of a bitch. All I want to say is, John Crew, I fucking hate you, you son of a bitch. You can stop making me out to look like a being a live piece of shit. I'm sick of it. I got trolled all the year
That's what.
from the Clipper.
That's what you. Yep. That's what you get for telling him that the ironclad is not.
But it's not. It's a different size category. Get your shit together, boys. Come on. Get your. It's called the metric system for a reason. I know you use the imperial system, but you got to get your metrics sorted. Like we're not doing this to cause grief. We're doing this because it needs to make sense, and it don't make sense.
They don't like it. I think John doesn't like it because the metric system was created by Napoleon.
It also
added by Napoleon.
It locks them into being less creative. I understand that, but at some point, when you've made all these rules that you've made for yourself, and you've told everyone that the law's really important and all this type of stuff, well, you've just spat in everyone's face and said it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't matter, and you've now proven it multiple times. So which one is it? Is it really important, or is it made up and the points don't matter? And right now, it's this. Make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. It's a critique. You take it. You can take it as an insult, but it's just a critique. All right. He's been Algared.
He's been executed, and we are out of here this
See you,
time.
citizens.
Take care.
Bye-bye. I'm going to bed. No, I'm not. I'm going to get some McDonald's. Nope. Shit. I don't live near McDonald's. I'm hungry, Algared. And hangry, even.
You're hungry.